Chapter 3396. Thinking about this, Tang Yun understood why the Snow Valley had mobilized so many people. But she also thought of something else, that was, Lin Yi's love had moved Elder Qing and Rock Candy. Then, would she be able to move Valley Master Shua and Grand Elder as well? Thinking about this, Tang Yun slowly knelt in front of Grand Elder and Valley Master Shua. Her expression was extremely sincere. I beg you, please save my lover. If he doesn't receive treatment in time, I'm afraid. The highest elder didn't look back. The aura she exuded had a kind of unapproachable momentum. Xueli followed behind her and left the guest room together. What the great elder and Xueli had cultivated was the Heartless spell, a unique skill of the Snow Valley. What they cultivated was an icy heart. How could they be moved by Tang Yun's kneeling? However, the Heartless spell was only suitable for females to practice. Although Elder Zhang also practiced the Ice Elemental spell, he did not need to practice the Ice Heart. So, he couldn't help but smile bitterly when he saw Xueli and the Great Elder leaving. He said to Tang Yun, "Little girl, let's go. Don't annoy the Valley Master and the Great Elder, Tang Yun's tears fell down helplessly. At this moment, her heart was filled with grievance and bitterness. Although Tang Yun was born poor, she had her own persistence and pride. When had she ever kneeled to others? But for Lin Yi, she had to lower her head. Little girl, don't make things difficult for me. If you stay here and the Valley Master and Grand Elder blame me, I will have to bear the consequences. Elder Zhang said. I'm sorry. Tang Yin wiped away her tears and stood up slowly, determination in her red eyes. Elder Zhang, please tell the venerated elder and the valley headmaster that I'll kneel in front of the valley's gates. I'd rather freeze to death on this snowy mountain if I don't get the ice spirit fruit. Why do you have to do this? Elder Zhang smiled bitterly and did not know what to say. He knew that the Supreme Elder and Xueli would definitely watch Tang Yin freeze to death. For those who practice the heartless tactics, how could they sympathize with others? Tang Yun bowed deeply to the Grand Elder and didn't say anything else. She left the room and walked out of the snowy valley's walls. Yun, why you're doing this? Meng Yao was a little shocked, not expecting Tang Yun to say something this shameless, but remembering that Lin Yi did the same thing when he saved Xiao Xiao, Meng Yao knew that Tang Yun was learning from Lin Yi. I've decided, this is our last chance. We don't have time to go to the Ice Palace anymore. Tang Yun said firmly. Among these people, only Lin Yi had the Ice Palace's contact information. Even Tang Yun's parents didn't have Bingtang's contact information, let alone old Lin and Mo Kongwen. Mo Kongwen knew the route to the Snow Valley because the Snow Valley was famous for trading and exchanging treasures for money. But it's very cold here, you're different from Lin Yi. He's a practitioner, and you're not. You'll freeze to death here. Meng Yao said subconsciously, a little startled. I said it, so I'll do it. Tang Yun said firmly as she looked at the unconscious Lin Yi, I've known him for so long, but I've never done anything for him, man. Meng Yao sighed helplessly. It was freezing outside of Snow Valley, and it was beyond their imaginations. Snow Valley and the Ice Palace were in the north and south. According to Snow Valley's location, the weather should be nice, but who would have thought that it would be the exact opposite in this valley? It's so cold. Shu couldn't take this weather even with Lin Yi on her back. She felt relaxed when she came out of the room, but after a while, she couldn't take it anymore. Shu had a body that could withstand heat, but not cold. Carrying Lin Yi on her back was very comfortable, but staying in this environment for a long time would definitely freeze her to death. Yao, Shu, you guys go back to the car, I'll be fine outside. Tang Yun said as she knelt in front of the gate of the Snow Valley. Although this was the territory of the Snow Valley wouldn't do anything to an ordinary person like her. Elder Zhang looked at the scene outside and shook his head helplessly. He didn't think that Tang Yun would really do this, but he was confused. Since Tang Yun was Bingtang's sister, why didn't she contact Bingtang and transfer the money for the fruit to him? Of course, Elder Zhang didn't know that it wasn't that Tang Yun didn't want to, but that she couldn't contact Bingtang. The ancient sects had their own ways of contacting each other, but ancient sects communicated with the common world through letters. Meng Yao didn't know how to persuade Tang Yun, and she didn't know if she should do it or not. She was thinking, if she was in Tang Yun's shoes, would she do the same? When Meng Yao heard Tang Yun say, "I've known him for so long, but I've never done anything for him," she was thinking, what have I done for him? Every time she was in trouble or danger, it was Lin Yi who helped her out. No matter how dangerous or difficult it was, he would always be safe. But what have I done for him? Thinking about it carefully, it seemed like nothing. Why don't we take turns kneeling here? Meng Yao hesitated. No need, that would be insincere. Tang Yun said, Yao Yao, it's fine. My body is more resistant to cold, but you and Shu are different. Leave it to me. You guys just stay in the car and take care of Lin Yi. Actually, Tang Yun was thinking, if Snow Valley knew that she was Bingtang's sister, would they still let her freeze to death here? If that happened, how would she explain it to Bingtang? Of course, this was also because Tang Yun didn't know that Grand Elder and Sydney practiced the heartless arts. If they knew, they wouldn't think like this. The so-called heartless arts naturally wouldn't be moved by Tang Yun's actions. As for her identity as Bingtang's sister, Grand Elder and Sydney didn't really believe it. After all, Bingtang didn't tell them about it, nor did she mention it. What else could Meng Yao say after Tang Yun said so? She could only go back to the car with Shu. After all, it was too cold outside. Meng Yao was shivering from the cold. She couldn't imagine how Tang Yun's thin body could withstand the cold wind and snow. Chapter 3397. Have we done anything wrong to you? You'll understand after you hear what I have to say. Jiang Wen said. Meng Yao turned around and walked towards the living room. Yushu was looking at Jiang Wen up and down weirdly, giving Jiang Wen a creepy feeling. Was this girl trying to trick him again? Jiang Wen had been tricked many times already. Actually, Yushu wasn't trying to trick him. She was just guessing if this guy was really innocent or not. Alright, what do you want to say? Meng Yao said to Jiang Wen. Yao Yao, maybe you think that Uncle Chu went bankrupt and committed suicide because of our family. But, how can we be innocent? My father was even scolded by Grandpa for lending Uncle Chu money. Jiang Wen smiled bitterly. If it wasn't for Grandpa's love for me, this villa of yours would have been confiscated. The assets are all under your name. What else do you want? Meng Yao asked. Uncle Chu's assets and Pengzhan Corporation's shares are indeed in our family's hands, but Yao Yao, have you ever thought about the 3 billion that my father lent to your father? Do you think that the total value of Pengzhan Corporation's shares and these properties is around 3 billion? Even if it's more than 3 billion, we're using cash to buy back the assets and shares. This is a huge loss. Jiang Wen explained. After all, the assets aren't money, they're shares. The business won't recover even if it's not managed. But now that we don't have the 3 billion, even the operations of our business are affected. Overall, we're the victims. You're saying that the 3 billion you lent to my father was lost as well? Didn't it go into your pockets? Meng Yao naturally didn't believe Jiang Wen. Yao Yao, to be honest, it was my father who dragged Uncle Chu into this project. Maybe that's why you misunderstood. Jiang Wen said. But later on, my father kept telling Uncle Chu to stop, but Uncle Chu acted like he was possessed. He wouldn't listen no matter what my father said. My father couldn't reject him because he was an old friend, so he took the risk and lent him the money. Dad's in the hospital, unconscious. How am I supposed to believe you? Meng Yao wasn't moved at all. Man, I knew you wouldn't believe me. Jiang Wen shook his head helplessly. But it's fine, Yao Yao. Our company's phones all have voice recordings. If you really don't believe me, I'll get someone to pull out the voice recording and listen to it yourself. There's a recording? Really? Meng Yao wasn't so sure anymore after hearing Jiang Wen's words. Could it be that her father really wasn't going to listen to her? Her father seemed to be crazy when she called him, and he didn't seem to care when Faubert tried to talk him out of it. Our family's company is different from your father's. There are 3 people in charge, my grandpa, my uncle, and my father. So sometimes, when something goes wrong, we have to look into the person responsible. Who was the one who made the decision? In order to prevent people from denying it, there's no evidence. Jiang Wen was obviously bullshitting. In House N's business, other than old Eldaran and Mingyue, Jiang Wen even had a lot of power. What's the point? Jiang Wen was obviously bullshitting. Then. Can you get it for me? Meng Yao hesitated. It wasn't polite to ask for someone else's company's voice recording, but she didn't believe that Jiang Wen really had a voice recording. She had to confirm it herself. All right, I'll tell my father now. Jiang Wen didn't push it away. He took out his phone and called in Mingyue. After Mingyue's call, Meng Yao wasn't sure herself anymore. Could it be that Housen was innocent? Otherwise, why would Jiang Wen be so confident? Of course, as suspicious as Housen was, there was still the possibility that they were innocent. Then why did they lose all their money after making money? Meng Yao asked. Man, it wasn't supposed to be a loss, but I don't know why Uncle Chu pulled out $1 billion all of a sudden, disrupting the entire operation. Not only did we not get the $1 billion back, but we lost everything. Jiang Wen said regretfully with a shrug. What? Is it because of the withdrawal of investment, that's why you lost it? Meng Yao froze. She didn't think that the reason for her father's bankruptcy was because of him pulling out his investment. Although Jiang Wen's words couldn't be trusted, Meng Yao still blamed herself. Was it because of her? If she didn't call her father to ask for $1 billion, would her father pull out his investment? Was he the one who caused all of this? Faubert didn't want Meng Yao to be sad, so he didn't mention this. Faubert was sure that it was House N's doing, and that the investment loss was just an excuse. But Jiang Wen wanted Meng Yao to hate Lin Yi, so he said it on purpose. Yeah, it's a taboo for a financial speculator like this to pull out his investment, it messes up the original plan. Is that so? Meng Yao lowered her head, feeling down. Jiang Wen was a little disappointed that Meng Yao didn't blame him, but he couldn't say anything more. Meng Yao would get suspicious if he did, and Meng Yao wasn't an idiot. Jiang Wen had spent so much effort to make Meng Yao half believe him, and naturally, he wouldn't ruin the good situation. Soon, Jiang Wen's phone received a couple of messages. He opened it up and said to Meng Yao, "They're here, I'll play it for you." Okay. Meng Yao nodded without hesitation. Pengzhan bro, why are you calling again? Didn't we just talk? I've sent the current profits to your inbox, see if you've received it. Jiang Wen's phone started to play the recording of the phone call slowly. In the beginning, it was just a normal conversation, but Meng Yao's face started to change as the conversation went on. Chapter 3398. The 4th reagent had been injected, and now Xiaochun had to inject them with the 1st and 2nd reagents. In order to attract Lin Yi's attention, Xiaochun purposely drove around House Tang's hotel and said to the hypnotist, "We can start now." Xiao Chun had practiced this action many times before coming here. Xiao Chun skillfully injected the potion into the 3 biohumans in front of her, and then the hypnotist began to hypnotize them. Meanwhile, Xiao Chun drove to the antique shop. The timing was just right. In fact, when Xiaochun drove around the hotel, Lin Yi noticed it. This made Lin Yi a little puzzled. What was he trying to do? Provoke him? Could it be that Jiang Wen knew that he was staying in the hotel, and purposely told him that he was going to rob the hotel? Or was he thinking too much? Was he just here to take a look, and wanted to rob the hotel after robbing the antique shop? Of course, the second possibility was more likely, but no matter what, Lin Yi rushed to the antique shop with House Tang as soon as possible. Tang Taizhong admired Yushu very much. She said that she was going to rob the antique shop today, and she really came. When the van arrived at the antique shop, they saw that Lin Yi was already waiting for them at the entrance. There were no other customers around, and evidently, the place had been cleared by House Tang to prevent people who didn't know the truth from causing a commotion. Xiaochun stopped the van, and he didn't know why, but his heart was beating very fast. His goal was to bring people to fight Lin Yi, but now that Lin Yi was waiting for him, he couldn't feel happy at all. He felt that something bad was going to happen. "Hypnotist, how is it? Is it done?" Xiaochun asked. "No problem, I order them to get out of the van and carry out the mission." The hypnotist nodded, and then gave the order to the 5 biohumans. The 3 biohumans got out of the van one by one, and they surrounded Lin Yi. This time, their order was to surround and attack Lin Yi. No matter who interfered, they would ignore them and focus solely on attacking Lin Yi. Lin Yi frowned slightly. He also felt that something was amiss. There was someone else in the van at the moment. Did this person not know that he was the one who killed the biohuman yesterday? Why did he bring 3 of them today? Did he really think that these 3 biohumans were a match for him? All 6 of them died yesterday. You think you're amazing just because you've lost half of it? There seemed to be something strange about this. Since he couldn't figure it out, Lin Yi didn't think too much about it. He adopted yesterday's strategy and defeated them one by one. Flaming Fist 10th move. Lin Yi attacked Cyborg 1, who was the closest to him. Boom! The fist landed on the cyborg's body. Not to be outdone, the cyborg also attacked. He also threw a punch at Lin Yi's fist. It was a head-on attack. This wasn't what Lin Yi had imagined. The cyborg's fist made Lin Yi's blood boil in his chest. It was a huge amount of strength. The huge force pushed Lin Yi back, and he fell to the ground. Blood flowed out of the corner of his mouth. Heaven late stage. This cyborg actually had the offensive power of a heaven late stage expert. It looked like a normal punch, but it contained such explosive power. Lin Yi didn't expect it at all, and he was hit by it, suffering a serious internal injury in an instant. However, this wasn't the end of it. After the cyborg exchanged blows with Lin Yi, he was sent flying. He was sent flying as well, spitting out a mouthful of blood. It looked even more serious than Lin Yi's, but he was able to get up quickly. There was a dent in his chest, but it didn't seem to affect him at all. Even his speed didn't decrease as he ran towards Lin Yi again. Lin Yi was shocked. This was indeed unusual. The 5 cyborgs today were completely different from yesterday's. Not only did they have high attack power, but their resistance was also stronger. Lin Yi's Flaming Fist 10th move actually didn't do anything to the cyborg in front of him. Lin Yi originally wanted to use the Art of Dragon Mastery to heal the injuries in his body, but he didn't have the chance. Before the cyborg could run over, the other 2 cyborgs had already reached Lin Yi. One on the left and one on the right, they suddenly punched at Lin Yi. Lin Yi was shocked. He quickly used the butterfly subtle steps to dodge the attacks of the 2 cyborgs. After all, the intelligence of these 2 cyborgs didn't seem to be very high. Their mobility was also restricted, and they weren't very agile. That was why Lin Yi was able to quickly get up from the ground and dodge the attacks. However, there was a saying that was true. One couldn't dodge the first attack, but one couldn't dodge the next. Lin Yi had just dodged the attacks of the cyborgs when the first cyborg had already arrived behind Lin Yi. He suddenly punched at Lin Yi and directly smashed Lin Yi. Fortunately, the jade pendant had already given a strong warning at this moment, so the cyborg's sneak attack didn't reach its maximum effect. Lin Yi had already used his vital energy to protect his body. Although his previous injuries had worsened, at least it wasn't worse. Go to hell. Lin Yi turned around and smashed the 11th move of the Flaming 8 Trigrams palm. Initially, Lin Yi didn't want to use this move. However, the cyborgs in front of him were too strong. So, Lin Yi had no choice but to use his strongest move. Boom! Cyborg 1 and Lin Yi exchanged blows. Because Lin Yi had attacked with all his strength, he didn't reserve too much of his vital energy to protect his body. Therefore, the damage to Lin Yi was quite great. As the cyborgs flew backward, Lin Yi also flew backward under the impact of the huge recoil and crashed to the ground. This time, under the great power of the 11th move of the flaming 8 trigrams palm, Cyborg 1 was smashed into pieces. His entire body was turned into pieces, and it was impossible for him to survive. However, Lin Yi's physical strength had been severely depleted, and he had also suffered very serious internal injuries. However, Lin Yi knew that he couldn't afford to be careless. There were still 2 cyborgs attacking him from behind. In the van, the hypnotist stared coldly at the scene outside the van and said calmly, "It seems that this Lin Yi still has some tricks up his sleeve. However, he is now at the end of his rope." "That's true. I hope that these 2 cyborgs can kill Lin Yi." Xiao Chun nodded, but she still didn't feel at ease. Lin Yi used the killer's ultimate skill, butterfly microsteps, and avoided the attacks of the 2 cyborgs. However, Lin Yi knew that this was not a solution at all. If he continued to dodge like this, he would make a mistake sooner or later. Chapter 3399. He didn't expect these 3 biohumans to be so strong. It seemed that Jiang Wen knew that he would fight here, so he purposely sent so many masters. However, with Lin Yi's current condition, he couldn't use the 11th form of the Fire 8 trigrams palm again. He could only keep dodging. This way, even if Lin Yi continued to fight, he wouldn't be able to defeat these 2. Lin Yi was very anxious. His stamina was also decreasing by the minute. Right now, he was like a bow with a crossbow. Lin Yi's steps were getting slower and slower, and his movements were getting more and more strenuous. Right now, Lin Yi was severely exhausted, and he was also injured. If it wasn't for his determination, he might have died. Lin Yi is only a so-so. 3 biohumans already made him so miserable. If the ones from yesterday came together, Lin Yi would probably be dead already. The hypnotist smiled coldly at Lin Yi. "You dare to go against our Master One with just this level of skill? You really don't know what's good for you. I hope Lin Yi won't survive today." Xiaochun nodded, relaxing a little. Right now, Lin Yi was obviously at a disadvantage. From his point of view, Lin Yi wouldn't be able to escape. Watch out. Lin Yi dodged Biohuman 2's attack, but Biohuman 3's attack followed. It seemed that Lin Yi wouldn't be able to dodge it, so Ling Shan immediately warned him. She subconsciously wanted to rush up and help, attacking Biohuman 3 with all her might. However, when her fists landed on Biohuman 3, it didn't seem to feel anything at all. It was as if it was completely useless, and Biohuman 3 continued to attack Lin Yi. "Everyone, help!" Ling Shan said urgently. Tang Taizhong, eldest Tang, second Tang, and Tang Yui heard her and all went up to help attack Biohuman 3. Tang Taizhong also knew that if anything happened to Lin Yi, then the hidden house Tang would be finished with him. However, these people were not strong. Even if they attacked Biohuman 3, they would not be able to defeat him. It wasn't able to deal too much damage to Cyborg 3 either. Cyborg 3's movement was only slightly slowed down, allowing Lin Yi to dodge the attack. However, just as Lin Yi dodged Biohuman 3's attack, Biohuman 2's attack came again, causing Lin Yi to groan inwardly. One Bio 3 was already something Ling Shan and the others couldn't handle. Cyborg 2 was coming again, and she couldn't deal with it. At this critical moment, she couldn't react at all. Nua's Sky Mending Art. Just as Bionic 2's attack was about to reach Lin Yi, Xiaoke yelled and used her defensive arts. In fact, Xiaoke had been preparing for this, and now that she saw that Lin Yi was exhausted, she quickly used her ultimate move. However, they weren't weak, and their attacks were equivalent to Sky Class late phase. Xiaoke was only at the early phase of Sky Class, and even if she could defend against a Sky Class late phase's attack, she wouldn't be able to withstand it. It was also impossible to defend for too long. Boom! Biohuman 2's attack didn't land on Lin Yi. Instead, it seemed to have landed on a protective barrier. Lin Yi, at this moment, was completely free. He even fell to the ground. His physical strength had been exhausted. He had to restore his physical strength and true qi as soon as possible and heal the injuries in his body. He knew that Yu Xiaoke wouldn't be able to hold on for much longer, so he activated the art of dragon mastery. He began to heal his injuries and recover his physical strength. Ling Shan knew Xiaoke's defensive skills, and she let out a breath of relief, allowing the two to continue attacking Lin Yi. Old Tang Taizhong was a sky class as well, but he was a sky class who'd gotten to that level through elixirs. There was a lot of water in it, so its attack power was very weak. When it hit Biohuman 3, it could not even cause him serious injuries. It could only cause some minor injuries, which made him very depressed. He couldn't do anything to help Lin Yi right now, so he could only watch helplessly as the two biohumans attacked Lin Yi. Xiaoke didn't feel much at first, but after a minute, a thin layer of sweat appeared on her forehead. She felt as if her physical strength was being devoured by a black hole, gushing out of her body like a tide. At this moment, she understood how difficult it was for her to defend against these two with her current strength. Their attacks were simply consuming too much of her physical strength. But, no matter what, Xiaoke had to hold on and create a chance for Lin Yi to recover his physical strength. Otherwise, Lin Yi would be in danger right now. Ling Shan and the others were panicking as they looked at Xiaoke, but they couldn't do anything to help. They couldn't beat the biohumans, so they could only watch. Xiaoke sis, you have to hold on. Yushu had a lot of tricks up her sleeve, but she didn't know what to do now. But I think that we'll be able to survive this. Xiaoke replied in a barely audible voice. She was simply too weak, and she was holding on with her faith. Lin Yi was panicking as well, but there was nothing he could do. His injuries were too severe, and using the 11th form of the Fire 8 trigrams palm had used up a lot of his physical strength as well. He also had to dodge for a while, and now he was almost out of energy. He could only hope that Xiaoke could hold on for a little longer. Time passed second by second, and sweat soaked Xiaoke's collar. Her face was pale, and her body was trembling. It had only been 2 minutes. But then again, with Xiaoke's strength, it was already a miracle that she could defend against the attacks of two sky-class late-phase masters at the same time. She had to hold on, she had to hold on. Xiaoke kept reminding herself, but her stamina was getting weaker and weaker, and she couldn't do what she wanted. She had no choice but to burn her own life force in exchange for a moment of safety. Xiaoke's faith was strong. Before, it was for the orphanage, and now it was for Lin Yi. She would rather die than hold on. The people and things in front of her were getting blurry. Xiaoke gritted her teeth and started chanting the arts mechanically. At this moment, she felt that her body was getting lighter. She didn't need to use all her strength, but she could still chant the arts. Her thoughts suddenly went back to that dark tomb, but the things that happened in there were so beautiful and sunny in her memories. The confession outside the tomb would forever be imprinted in her heart, frozen in that moment. Chapter 3400. When Xiaoke fell to the ground, the practitioner's chant was still going on, and the two biohumans didn't hit Lin Yi at all. Lin Yi's eyes were bloodshot. He didn't think that the battle he was supposed to win would end up like this. He wanted to stand up and rush over to check on Xiaoke, but if he got hit by the biohumans, he'd be wasting Xiaoke's good intentions. Lin Yi also knew that Xiaoke's defense was over. He stood up and dodged the attacks from Biohuman 2 and 3, looking at Xiaoke from the corner of his eyes. At this moment, Xiaoke was already on the ground, unmoving. Ling Shan and the others were all surrounding Xiaoke. Lin Yi wanted to see what was going on, but he couldn't do anything else. He could only keep dodging the biohumans' attacks. Although he had recovered some of his injuries and recovered some of his qi, Xiaoke had only given him 2 minutes. It was impossible for him to recover much qi in such a short period of time. So Lin Yi couldn't use the 11th form of the Fire 8 trigrams palm. He could only continue dodging. What move did that girl use just now? How could she block the biohuman's attacks? Xiaoka's chant had stunned both Xiaochun and the hypnotist. They had never seen anything like this before. Xiaoka fainted, and Lin Yi continued to dodge. Only then did Xiaochun come back to his senses. I don't know. We don't know much about martial arts, but who cares? Now that the girl has fainted, let's see how Lin Yi handles this. The hypnotist didn't really care about Xiaoka's situation. But the biohumans only have 5 minutes left. Xiaochun's face was bitter. Lin Yi had lasted for more than 10 minutes, and Xiaoka had lasted for another 2 minutes. So the biohumans only had 5 minutes left. In other words, if they couldn't kill Lin Yi in 5 minutes, the 2 biohumans would die. Motherfucker. The hypnotist was stunned for a moment before realizing the problem of time. He frowned and said, "Little Pure, calculate the time. If they can't kill Lin Yi, we'll drive away immediately." I understand. Little Chuanjia nodded, but he no longer had any hope for the biohuman. He was ready to drive away. Lin Yi could not use the 11th style of the Raging Fire 8 trigrams palm. Lin Yi had no choice but to dodge. The inescapable net was gone. Otherwise, he could have used it to escape. However, Lin Yi didn't have any weapons in his hands. Although he was wearing the gale-chasing lightning boots, it was not a problem for him to escape. But what about the others? He couldn't just ignore it, right? He didn't know if Jiang Wen had any backup plans. What if he left and Jiang Wen attacked Ling Shan and the hidden house Tang? So, Lin Yi could only think of a way to break through while dodging. However, Lin Yi really couldn't think of a way to solve this seemingly unsolvable situation. However, Lin Yi had been dealing with the 2 biohumans for a while now. However, he noticed a strange phenomenon. The speed and attack power of the 2 biohumans were decreasing. In terms of speed, Lin Yi could easily feel it. After all, at the beginning, Lin Yi had just dodged their first round of attack, and the next round of attack followed. But now, after dodging, Lin Yi still had a chance to breathe. The 2 of them were no longer as agile as they used to be. As for the strength, although Lin Yi didn't receive a direct attack, Lin Yi could still feel the strength of the punch from the side. From the momentum, he could tell that these people's fists had the strength of a Sky-class late-stage master. They had already shrunk to Sky-class mid-stage. This discovery surprised Lin Yi. Could it be that the energy of the biohumans was exhausted? Thinking of this, Lin Yi continued to fight. As expected, what happened next confirmed Lin Yi's guess. The 2 people's speed was getting slower and slower, and their strength was getting weaker and weaker. Finally, at the 19-minute mark, the 2 people's movements became uncoordinated, and the strength of their attacks also decreased to Sky-class early stage. Let's go. The hypnotist knew that the 2 cyborgs would die of natural causes if this went on, and he wouldn't be able to do anything to Lin Yi anymore. As a result, he chose to leave decisively. If the cyborgs died here, he might not be able to escape. Xiaochun also saw the problem. She started the car and was ready to leave. Ling Shan, stop that car. The 2 biohumans were no longer a threat to Lin Yi, so Lin Yi could now pay attention to other things. Seeing that the van had actually started, he quickly asked Ling Shan to stop it. Even without Lin Yi's reminder, Ling Shan had already noticed that there was something wrong with the van. There were people in the van. Shi, Tang Taizhong, eldest brother Tang, second brother Tang, and Tang Yuyu surrounded the van. Xiaochun was shocked. She stepped on the gas pedal and wanted to crash into the van, but unfortunately, Tang Taizhong reached out and stopped the van with one hand, not allowing it to move forward. The van's tires made an ear-piercing screech against the ground, but it couldn't do anything to Tang Taizhong. Tang Taizhong might not be able to deal with biohumans, but stopping a van was a piece of cake for a Sky class like him. Ling Shan, Boss Tang, and the others used this opportunity to charge into the van, grabbing Xiaochun the hypnotist out. These 2 weren't practitioners at all. There was no way they could fight back. If they didn't want to suffer, they could only surrender. When Xiaochun and the hypnotist were captured, the two bio-humans fell to the ground, not moving at all. This situation surprised Lin Yi, but it wasn't out of his expectations. Lin Yi reached out to check the pulse and breathing of the bio-humans. They had both stopped. He was a skilled doctor, and he could tell if they were really dead or not. Seeing that they were really dead, Lin Yi walked to Xiaoka quickly to check on her. There was still breathing and pulse. This made Lin Yi sigh in relief. But the next moment, Lin Yi's face became very strange. Xiaoka's breathing and pulse weren't normal at all. It could be said that it was very slow, like the breathing of a hibernating animal. Although she was still alive, she was different from a normal person. Chapter 3401. This made Lin Yi go into deep thought. Could it be that Xiaoka only lost her qi? But, how would Xiaoka recover her qi? Could she use energy stones? Since it was to increase qi, Lin Yi's art of dragon mastery couldn't do anything. Xiaoka couldn't use the chant right now, and he couldn't forcefully transfer energy into her body. He was panicking, but Lin Yi quickly thought of a way. He could try out the spring rain skill he'd learned before. Spring rain could passively recover his teammates' qi. With that thought, Lin Yi couldn't care about himself anymore. The situation wasn't urgent, and he could recover his injuries later. He used his remaining qi and used spring rain once. He didn't use his full strength, but it was definitely effective. After using spring rain, Lin Yi could clearly feel that Xiaoka's qi was recovering. It wasn't completely recovered, but it was a part of it. But, Xiaoka's face was still as pale as ever, and there were no signs of her waking up. Could it be that he didn't have enough qi left to wake her up? With that thought, Lin Yi quickly sat cross-legged on the ground and started using the art of dragon mastery, quickly recovering his injuries and qi. He planned on using spring rain again when he was at his peak condition. At that moment, Ling Shan had already brought Xiaochun and the hypnotist over. Lin Yi looked at them, and he froze. Lin Yi knew these two. After Tianli was tricked, Lu Jinghan. Han Jingjing had asked Tianli to draw out Lang Nima and Cui Mianshir's portraits when she was investigating the case. Lin Yi took a look, but he didn't know these two, and so he didn't pay much attention. But now that he saw Xiaochun and the hypnotist, he suddenly realized that these two people were actually the two people from back then. Lang Nima, Cui Mianshir, long time no see. Lin Yi was using his arts to recover his qi, but as long as he didn't use any skills at the same time, it wouldn't affect his ability to speak. He looked at Xiaochun and the hypnotist. He said coldly. Xiao Chun was slightly stunned, and he knew that this was not good. He wanted to bluff his way out of this by saying that he and the hypnotist were just drivers hired by the bio-humans and had nothing to do with those people. If he did that, they might just let them go. He fell into Ling Shan's hands. He wasn't too scared, since Ling Shan was a police, she needed evidence. The bioweapons were dead, and there was nothing she could do if they insisted that they were drivers. He and the hypnotist were both normal people. They weren't practitioners, and Ling Shan would let them go in the end. But it would be a different story if they fell into Lin Yi's hands. Lin Yi wouldn't care about evidence, and now that Lin Yi recognized them as Lang Nima and Cui Mianshir, Lin Yi wouldn't let them go no matter if there was evidence or not. Falling into Lin Yi's hands would only lead to death. With that thought, Xiaochun felt that it was better for them to fall into Ling Shan's hands. He could say that they were just running errands, and that the real mastermind was the fire wolves. That way, he wouldn't die even if he was sentenced. Officer Song, I'll be honest, Lang Nima and Cui Mianshir are just our aliases. Our real identities are members of the fire wolves. We're just running errands, we'll tell you everything we know. Xiaochun said. Right, tricking Lu Tianli was an order from our superiors as well, we're just gang members, we'll be honest. The hypnotist, naturally, understood what Xiaochun was trying to say. To be honest, Lin Yi didn't have much interest in them. He didn't like Tianli in the first place, and if it weren't for the fact that he was Han Jingjing's father, Lin Yi wouldn't let him off easily even if he didn't kill him. He didn't plan on helping Tianli since these two wanted to be honest, he'd just have to be honest with Ling Shan. After all, Ling Shan had done a great service for the Fire Wolves, and the investigation department had always been in charge of the Fire Wolves. See if they tell us anything about Jiang Wen. If they do, then it means that they're sincere. If they don't, then tell me. I'll open their heads and see if they're lying. Lin Yi said faintly. Ah. Xiaochun didn't want to betray Jiang Wen. He said he was from the Fire Wolves to cover for Jiang Wen. The Fire Wolves were huge, after all, and who knew who the higher-ups were? But now, Lin Yi seemed to have his eyes on them, and he knew some of the truth. It seemed like lying was impossible. Xiaochun sighed helplessly. I'll tell you. The person in charge is someone called Master Wen. I don't know if he's that Jiang Wen. Yes, everyone calls him Master Wen, that's all we know. The hypnotist added. Isn't it Jiang Wen? We'll know even if you don't tell us. Ling Shan glared at the two. Let's go, follow me back. Lin Yi healed his injuries in Qi, casting spring rain once more. But what made Lin Yi depressed was that Xiaoka's Qi seemed to have recovered, but she didn't seem to be waking up at all. Shield bro, Xiaoka sis. Yushu only dared to come over now. She didn't want to disturb Lin Yi when she saw how focused he was. I don't know what's going on with her. I've already recovered her energy, but she still hasn't woken up. Lin Yi frowned and shook his head. Is there something else going on? That's right. Yushu rubbed Xiaoka's head and felt for her breathing. She exclaimed in surprise, Xiaoka sis's breathing is so weak. It's not weak, it's slow. Lin Yi said, she's like an animal in hibernation right now. I've never seen a problem like this before. Then. Will there be a problem? Yushu was startled as well. She didn't think that Xiaoka would cause a problem when she helped Lin Yi. It doesn't seem like her life is in danger for now. Her vitals are very stable, just like hibernation, Lin Yi said. Chapter 3402. The Inheritor Won't. I suspected that she used up all her qi, but I used the spring rain technique to help her recover her qi. She's fine now, but she hasn't woken up yet. It doesn't seem like that's the reason. Lin Yi shook his head. The only thing we can do now is to bring her back and ask Udake if there's any solution. That's the only way. Yushu nodded. The Hidden House Tang's matter was temporarily solved. Xiaochun and the hypnotist were caught, and Jiang Wen probably wouldn't cause any more trouble for a while. Lin Yi could leave in peace. However, Lin Yi didn't feel any joy from solving the problem. Xiaoka fainted for no reason at all, and it made his heart heavy. Lin Yi's heart was filled with regret. If he hadn't underestimated the enemy, Xiaoka wouldn't have been hurt. If he had prepared a qi bomb in advance, this wouldn't have happened. During the battle, when Lin Yi was healing, he really thought about compressing a qi bomb or using the puppet made by the thing in the jade to help. However, Lin Yi thought that Xiaoka could hold on for a while, so he didn't do that. At that time, Lin Yi's body was weak, and he didn't have enough time to condense the qi bomb. Releasing the puppet, Lin Yi was afraid that others would know his trump card too early. After all, this trump card wasn't ordinary. If the Xianchen ancestor knew about it, Lin Yi would be in even more trouble. As long as Lin Yi wasn't an idiot, he wouldn't let others see this puppet. But now that he thought about it, he should have made a prompt decision. He didn't know that Xiaoka would become like this. If he had known, he would have risked being found out and angering the Xianchen ancestor. When he returned to the hotel, Wang Xinyan was already awake, but she didn't leave. She sat quietly on the bed and waited for Lin Yi. When she saw Lin Yi carrying Xiaoka in, she was shocked. Lin Yi, what happened to Xiaoka? Are you hurt? Not injured, fainted, or? She's hibernating. Lin Yi explained Xiaoka's situation briefly. We'll let her sleep in the energy stones at night, see if it works. Xinyan suggested, thinking of her own situation. I can give it a try, but there shouldn't be much hope. Lin Yi's spring rain martial technique was about the same as the energy stones. Although it wasn't as much as the energy stones, under Lin Yi's all-out effort, Xiaoke had already recovered her pure qi. It shouldn't have much to do with the energy stones. Xinyan nodded and didn't say anything. Lingshan and Yushu were silent as well, and Lingshan was the one who was apologizing for what happened before. She and Yu Xiaoke were enemies. Back then, Yu Xiaoke was a female cat burglar, and she had tried to bring Yu Xiaoke to justice. But now, Yu Xiaoke had done a great deed, helping her settle the Tang matter, and was now unconscious. After putting Yu Xiaoke into the energy stones, Lin Yi called Yu Dake. "Mr. Lin, is everything going well on your side?" Yu Dake was looking after the house, worried about Lin Yi and his sister. "Everything's taken care of, but there's something wrong with Ku." Lin Yi sighed. He told Yu Dake everything that had happened in detail. Xiaoke. Yu Dake was a little emotional, but he didn't blame Lin Yi for his and his sister's lives. It could be said that Lin Yi had saved them, and Lin Yi was the one who did it. He couldn't blame Lin Yi right now, but he was really worried about his sister's safety. If someone as strong as Lin Yi couldn't do anything, then was there no hope for his sister? "Dake, don't worry, I'll think of something. Xinyan's problem is so serious, and I found a solution in the end. I'll try my best for Xiaoke as well." Lin Yi said. "It's nothing, Mr. Lin. I believe that you can definitely wake Xiaoku up, but I'm afraid I don't know what happened to Xiaoku for the time being. When I went home last time, I brought back the Yu family's diary. I'll check it and see if there's any mention of similar situations." Yu Dake said. The journal was long, but he wanted to read it from the beginning for Yu Xiaoke. "Okay, I'll wait for your news." Lin Yi didn't get an answer from Yu Dake. It was within his expectations, but Yu Dake said that there might be a solution in the journal, and that gave Lin Yi some hope. How is it? How is it?" Yushu asked anxiously after hanging up. "Sigh, Dake doesn't have a solution," Lin Yi sighed. "It seems like we can only ask the old man at home." "Yes, Grandpa Lin is so powerful, he must have a solution," Yushu said. Lin Yi nodded and called Lin Dongfang. In fact, if it was a normal thing, Lin Yi wouldn't trouble old Lin easily, but he had no other choice. What's wrong? Why are you calling me all of a sudden? Are you in trouble again?" It was said that no one knew a son better than a father, and old Lin was the same. "Old Lin, I'm in trouble," Lin Yi smiled bitterly. "Yu Xiaoke fainted." "Yu Xiaoke fainted? Who's Yu Xiaoke? What's she doing?" Old Lin paused. He hadn't heard Lin Yi talk about Yu Xiaoke before, and he didn't know how to react when Lin Yi brought it up all of a sudden. "Ugh. She's a female friend of mine." Lin Yi sweated and explained, "Don't worry about me and her first, I'll talk about her first." With that, Lin Yi told old Lin about Yu Xiaoke getting Nuwa's heaven mending art, as well as the characteristics of Nuwa's heaven mending art, as well as how Yu Xiaoke fainted to help him block an attack. Fainted to block an attack. Old Lin paused. "I've never seen this before, why don't you bring her back? I want to see what's wrong with her myself." "That's fine, I'll go back then." Lin Yi didn't have anything else to do, so he decided to go back and ask old Lin for help. Chapter 3403. It's not your fault. Lin Yi said with a wave of his hand. "I'm from the Secret Investigation Department as well, and the department's business is my business as well. I can't just stand by and watch, not to mention that this is about Jiangwen. I've been pissing him off for a long time now, and even if this didn't happen, I'd still do something to him. Alright, I'll have to trouble you with little Ku's matter." Lingshan sighed. At that moment, there was a knock on the door. Lin Yi quickly put away the energy stones on the bed and opened the door to see Tang Taizhong and the others standing outside. Lin Yi didn't want outsiders to see these energy stones. After all, one shouldn't show off one's wealth. "Master Lin, how's Miss Yu? Has she woken up yet?" If there's anything you need, like precious treasures, just let us know. We, the Hidden House Tang, will do whatever we can. Tang Taizong said sincerely this time. He knew that House Tang's crisis had been resolved, and with Xiaochun and the hypnotist caught, the biohumans wouldn't appear in the near future. Under Lingshan's orders, eldest Tang and second Tang had gone to interrogate Xiaochun and the hypnotist. These two were normal people, so how could they withstand a practitioner's interrogation? House Tang wasn't the police, and they didn't care if their methods were legal or not. Everything was done according to the practitioner's rules, and Xiaochun and the hypnotist quickly wrote down everything they knew, including the fact that Master Wen was Jiang Wen. This saved Lingshan the trouble of interrogating them. Not at the moment, but if there's a need, I won't hold back. Lin Yi said faintly. But I have some things I need, and you guys can help me think of a way. No problem. Please tell us, Master Lin. Tang Taizong said quickly. I have a list here. Elder Tang, please have a look, Lin Yi said as he picked up a pen and wrote down a list. Fine steel mystic iron, black mystic iron, colored steel, black charcoal stone, pure topaz, blue crystal powder, blood of the five evils dragon. Tang Taizong looked at the things written on the list and was stunned. Young hero Lin, you need these things? Not bad. I wonder if Grandfather Tang has one? Lin Yi nodded. I think there are some, but these things don't seem to be very useful. Tang Taizong didn't know what Lin Yi wanted to do with these things, but he still gave the list to eldest brother Tang next to him and said, Eldest brother Tang, you usually go to the hidden Tang family's treasure vault and look for these things. Yes. Father. Eldest brother Tang nodded and went out with Tang Yu. Young hero Lin, I've gotten the confession of that little pure and the hypnotist. Do you want to take a look? Tang Taizong then brought up another serious matter. Just show it to Lingshan, I won't be looking. Lin Yi wasn't interested in the two. Did they admit that Master Wen is Jiang Wen? They did, and they also said some other things about the fire wolves, Tang Taizong said quickly. Oh. Lin Yi paused. He didn't expect these two to be so soft, saying so much in one go. He was suddenly interested and started reading with Lingshan. As expected, Jiang Wen was the mastermind behind all of this. Many of the previous cases also had some clues now. The underground fighting ring, the kidney case, the kidnapping case, the robbery case, all of these were planned by Jiang Wen. Many of the people Lingshan caught were Jiang Wen's scapegoats, but with Jiang Wen's cunning and his identity as a member of the Fire Wolves, Lingshan couldn't do anything to him in the past. But now that Lingshan was part of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, she naturally had the right to investigate the Fire Wolves. However, the Fire Wolves were too powerful, and Lingshan had to investigate them step by step. From the looks of it, the two most important people around Jiang Wen were Little Pure and the hypnotist. The hypnotist was the main person controlling the cyborgs. Now that he had been captured, Jiang Wen had no choice but to capture him. Even if the cyborgs were created, no one would be able to control them in a short period of time, so there was nothing to be afraid of. Lingshan let out a breath of relief. It seemed like this case could be closed. As for Jiang Wen, Lingshan knew that it wouldn't be easy to catch him. She was no longer the reckless policewoman Lingshan from before. Now, she knew how to plan before taking action. That's about it. They've told me everything they know. Lin Yi looked at the crimes written on it, including lying to Lu Tianli. However, he wouldn't be able to get the money back from these two. The mastermind was Jiang Wen, and Jiang Wen had handed the money over to the Fire Wolves. So, Lin Yi still had to settle the debt with the Fire Wolves. As they were talking, Boss Tang came back not long later. Tang Yu was behind him, holding two boxes in his hands. Evidently, he found what Lin Yi needed. Lin Yi's eyes narrowed, and he was pleasantly surprised. Master Lin, I'm sorry to have kept you waiting, Boss Tang said politely. The things you mentioned are not commonly used. We, the Hidden House Tang, have only found two of them. One is black mystical iron, and the other is black charcoal stone. As for the others, like pure topaz and blue crystal powder, we had them before, but we didn't think much of them. We gave them away during the Hidden House Summit. Lin Yi nodded. Blacksmiths had disappeared from the world of practitioners for a long time, and without them, these materials weren't very useful. They looked expensive, but they were actually worthless. It was normal that House Tang didn't care about giving them away. However, these two things were enough to make Lin Yi overjoyed. Black mystical iron, black charcoal stone. These two were what Lin Yi was sorely lacking. As for the other things, Lin Yi really did have them. Blue crystal powder, topaz, colored steel, and even mystical iron. Lin Yi had them all. With these two things, the only thing Lin Yi lacked was the blood of the 5 Wrath Dragon. Although this was the hardest thing to get, the other things were all gathered. Lin Yi let out a sigh of relief. This was a worthwhile trip. Lin Yi didn't hold back. He took the things and said, "Thank you, Grandpa Tang. We'll be leaving now. If there's anything else, you can contact the department." "Okay, Master Lin. As a member of the Cultivators Association Alliance, we will definitely follow the department's lead. We won't cause any unnecessary trouble for you, Master Lin." Chapter 3404. Mr. Lin, what about Xiaochun and the hypnotist? Tang Taizhong asked. Ling Shan, I'll go to West Star Village, you can go back first. Lin Yi said to Ling Shan. There were 2 suspects together, after all, and it wasn't convenient for Ling Shan to bring them along. Ling Shan did say that she wanted to stay with Lin Yi, since she was responsible for Xiaoka's fainting, but the situation was different now. Ling Shan hesitated, but remembering her mission, she said, "All right, I'll head back first then." "Contact me if anything happens," Ling Shan said. "All right, I'll head back first." "Okay." Lin Yi nodded. However, an unexpected phone call changed Lin Yi's schedule. Lin Yi's phone rang, and he took a look at the caller ID. It was Udake. And so, Lin Yi quickly picked up the phone. Would there be news from Udake? "Dake, how is it? Did you find the source of the problem?" Lin Yi asked quickly after picking up the call. "Mr. Lin, I did find a case similar to my sister, it's an ancestor of House Yu," Udake said. Udake said, in the log, there is a mention of fainting. The reason for this problem is that it overdraws the spiritual sense and mental strength in one's body, causing the spiritual sense and mental strength deficit in one's body, which leads to a coma. Spiritual force? Depleted? Lin Yi paused. This was the first time he'd heard of something like this. Yes, when resisting powerful pressure and attacks, if one's own strength has been exerted to the limit and still cannot resist, then if one has a kind of belief, with the help of powerful divine sense and mental energy, one will continue to resist until one's divine sense and mental energy are exhausted. Udake said. You're the person my sister loved, and she didn't want anything to happen to you. So, after her chi was depleted, she relied on her strong spiritual force to hold on. That's why this happened. I see. Although Lin Yi felt that it was a bit of a fantasy, the world of cultivation was like this. It was very difficult to explain it with logic. So, Lin Yi said, how do we wake her up? Or, how do we restore her spiritual sense and mental power? I'm not sure about that. Spiritual sense, spiritual energy, and physical strength are different. This is also the reason why Xiao Ku has not woken up even after you have restored her physical strength and true qi. This diary doesn't record anything about this. It only mentions that my ancestor was helped by a divine doctor. Udake said. Which miracle doctor? How did you recover? Lin Yi quickly asked. I don't know about that. This matter should be recorded in my ancestor's life log instead of the entire family's log. After all, these personal matters are only briefly mentioned in the family's log, but not in detail. For specific details, you still have to look at this ancestor's life log, Udake explained. That's the ancestor's life log. Is there anything else? Lin Yi couldn't help but feel nervous. There should be. In our House Yu's ancestral hall, under the ancestors list, there's a life log of each ancestor, Udake said, but, we'll have to go back again, then let's go back. Lin Yi wasn't afraid of a long journey. After all, he had other things to do in Hakanamada Desert. He was too worried about Wang Xinyan. Then, he met Kong Ming Ming's group. Lin Yi didn't want Kong Ming Ming to know why he was here. And Wang Xinyan was in urgent need of energy stones, so Lin Yi went back first. He was going to Hakanamada Desert to find a person, and that person was Pangolin. According to the map stolen from the Red Conch headquarters, there was a poison base in Hakanamada Desert, and Pangolin was very likely to be here. According to the distance on land, this was one of the most likely places for Pangolin. So, if he were to go to the Yu's house again, he planned to look for Armadillo, even though he didn't want to. Although the chances were slim, Lin Yi had to go. That was why Lin Yi agreed without hesitation. Alright, as long as Mr. Lin doesn't think it's a long journey, then we'll go. Udake was worried about his sister as well. He didn't have much to do, so it was fine for him to go with Lin Yi. Alright, we'll split up and meet up in the direction of Hakanamada Desert. From here, we'll depart together. The nearest city should be Pingbei City, Lin Yi said. Let's meet at the highway junction. Alright, then Mr. Lin, can I drive the Land Rover in the garage? Udake asked. Land Rover. Of course. Lin Yi smiled. This Land Rover was something Lin Yi and Xiao Xiao had gotten together. When Xiao Xiao had fainted, Lin Yi didn't want to bring up memories, so he didn't drive this car. Xiao Xiao was fine now, and this car wouldn't bring up bad memories for Lin Yi anymore. Then we'll meet at the highway junction. Udake nodded. Lin Yi hung up and turned to Ling Shan, Yu Shu, and Xinyan. Ling Shan, this time, Yu, Shu, Xinyan, bring Xiaoka back. I'm going to Hakanamada Desert again. I might be able to find a solution to Xiaoka's fainting problem there. That's where House Yu is. Ling Shan nodded, not saying anything else. After all, Lin Yi had something important to do. Shu, on the other hand, wasn't too willing to go with Lin Yi, but she knew that Lin Yi had to take care of her. Alright, Shield Bro, we'll take good care of Xiaoka sis. Yeah. Lin Yi was worried that Shu would follow him, but he didn't expect her to be so understanding and easy to talk to. Ling Shan, Yushu, and Xinyan brought Xiaoka to a car provided by House Tang. It was the Land Rover Land Cruiser, while Lin Yi drove the Grand Cherokee. Lin Yi didn't bring you Xiaoka because Udake said that he was saved with the help of a miracle doctor. If they didn't find the miracle doctor, then there was no point in bringing you Xiaoka. Plus, the miracle doctor might not even be in this world anymore. Lin Yi's main goal was to find a solution, or find the miracle doctor's heir. Chapter 3405. Lin Yi didn't think that he'd be going to Hakanamada Desert again in such a short amount of time. The car sped all the way, and it didn't take long for them to reach the highway in Pingbei City. Donghai was quite close, and Lin Yi saw Xiao Xiao's Land Rover at the waiting area not far away. Lin Yi honked twice, and Dake nodded. The two headed towards Hakanamada Desert, one in front and one in the back. This was their second time going, and the two were familiar with the route. They finally reached the Yu house the next day. The place had returned to its usual peacefulness. After the Gu family left, they really didn't come back, and it seemed like they didn't dare to come back anymore. Their backer was killed by Lin Yi, so why would they dare to come back? Where's the ancestral hall? Let's go. Lin Yi said. Okay. Dake was concerned about his sister's situation as well, and he brought Lin Yi to a courtyard after a series of twists and turns. There was an ancient building in the courtyard, and this was most likely the ancestral hall of House Yu. Lin Yi hadn't seen a real ancestral hall, but he'd seen similar ones on TV, and this place looked quite similar. But, just as Dake was about to enter the ancestral hall, he stopped abruptly, and his face changed. He pointed at a plaque in the ancestral hall, a little angry. Mr. Lin, look. Lin Yi raised his head and saw the words, Gu Family Ancestral Hall, written on the plaque. This made Lin Yi frown. What did this mean? Gu Family Ancestral Hall? Could it be that the memorial tablets here had all been replaced by the Gu families? At the thought, Lin Yi rushed in, and as expected, all the tablets were Gu's. There were no Yu's, and this made Lin Yi very annoyed. The Gu family had lived here for more than 10 years. He must have replaced all the tablets in the ancestral hall with his own. No one would worship someone else's tablet. Wasn't there something wrong with that? Moreover, Gu's son must have run away in a hurry and didn't have time to take these tablets with him, so he left them here. That Gu's son wasn't a filial person. Even if he thought of it, he probably wouldn't take it away. However, then where did the memorial tablets of the Yu family go? Back then, Lin Yi had not paid attention to this. If he had known earlier, he would have asked his son Gu. Now, he could only search for it himself. Yu Dake's face was also very gloomy. There were no Yu family members here. Where could he find the ancestral tablets? Mr. Lin. Let's split up and look for it. Let's see if we've lost the tablet somewhere. Yu Dake could only say that he was trying to find it. After all, the tablet was likely to be lost by the Gu family, so it was definitely impossible to find it. Alright, that's the only way. However, let's go to the previous underground treasure vault to look for it. Maybe there's something there? Lin Yi suggested. Okay. Yu Dake nodded. The Yu family's treasure vault was used as a warehouse by the Gu family. The last time they went there was to find Yu Xiaoka's Nuwa heaven-mending technique. They didn't pay attention to other things. Maybe the tablets were inside. The two went to the warehouse. It was a mess. After the Gu family took over, there were a lot of things placed there. They didn't know what they were. The two went to the left and right and began to search for the tablets in the warehouse. It could be said that they overturned the chests and cabinets. The two tossed and turned from night to the next morning. However, to their disappointment, they couldn't find the tablets. It seemed that the Gu family didn't leave the tablets here. But thinking about it, it was understandable. After all, the Gu family didn't want to keep other people's tablets. However, it made Lin Yi and Yu Dake a little depressed. Let's go to other places to look. Don't be discouraged. Both of them were practitioners. This level of physical exhaustion wasn't a problem. Thus, the two left the warehouse and began to search the house. From the moment the sun rose in the morning until the sun set, the sky was filled with stars. The two of them almost ran through the entire house, but they still couldn't find where the memorial tablet was thrown. If they guessed correctly, the Yu family tablets should have been thrown away. After all, the house had changed its name. Who would be willing to put other people's tablets here? How unlucky would that be? Sigh. Yu Dake sighed. I don't know where the Gu family went. There's no one to ask now. If they threw it away, there's no point asking them. If they didn't throw it away, we can find it. Lin Yi patted Yu Dake's shoulder and comforted him. Let's go to the ancestral hall again. Maybe it's in a corner. Okay. Yu Dake thought that Lin Yi was right, so he stood up and walked to the ancestral hall with Lin Yi. Before, they didn't search the ancestral hall carefully, so they went back at this time. The ancestral hall also had electric lights. Although the house was antique, it had already been integrated with modern civilization. The two began to search in the ancestral hall, but after searching for a long time, they didn't find anything. After all, the ancestral hall wasn't big, and there weren't many things in it. Everything was clear at a glance. Yu Dake sighed and sat on the ground helplessly. Dake, I want to ask you. You said that the ancestors' life log is behind the tablets? Lin Yi suddenly thought of a very important question. The tablets are so big. How long can a person's life log be? Can it be written on it? At most, it can only be a few sentences, right? No. As Udake said this, he suddenly stood up and slapped his thigh. Yes. The life log is placed in the wooden trough directly below the tablets. As he said this, Udake quickly ran in front of a tablet and reached out to knock it to the ground. Then, he dug a few times under the tablet. The wooden trough under the tablet opened like a mechanism. After removing the small cover on top, there was a space below, and in the space, there was a book that looked like a small booklet. On the booklet, the words, Enchanting, were written. Enchanting, this was obviously a member of the U family. This explained a problem, that was, the Gu family didn't find a small mechanism under the tablet to place the life log. They only threw the tablet on top, but they didn't find the life log in the secret compartment below. Chapter 3406. Udake quickly went to open other hidden compartments, and Lin Yi started helping as well. Who would have thought that there would be an unexpected turn of events? The two of them worked together. Soon, all the hidden compartments were opened. The life log of the Yu family's ancestor was taken out. Udake held it in his hand and began to carefully search for the name of his ancestor. Yu Haitang, found. Udake carefully picked up Yu Haitang's journal and quickly flipped through it. Lin Yi, on the other hand, came over. Soon, Udake found the cause and effect of Yu Haitang's fainting and the treatment. It turned out that Yu Haitang had helped her brother defend against an attack in a sparring match, and her mind was depleted, causing her to fall into a coma. After that, the Yu family saw many doctors and took many elixirs, but there was no effect. In the end, they were introduced to the doctor, Zhang Liju, and Zhang Liju used some unknown method to wake Yu Haitang up and make her normal again. This made the Yu family very grateful. But, what disappointed Lin Yi and Udake was that there was no mention of the treatment process. They could only see that Zhang Liju had treated Yu Haitang, but as for the method, they didn't know at all. Zhang Liju. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. He thought that even if he couldn't find the miracle doctor to treat Yu Haitang, he should be able to find his successor, but now, Zhang Liju's successor was him. How was he supposed to treat her? However, the only thing that made Lin Yi think was that when he went to the tomb last time, someone came. At that time, Lin Yi guessed that Zhang Liju might have come back, which meant that Zhang Liju probably didn't die, but went to Sky-class Island and ascended to Heavenly Dao. But even if Zhang Liju was alive, Lin Yi wouldn't be able to contact him. This person had gone to Sky-class Island. How was Lin Yi going to find him? Did he have to go to Sky-class Island? But now, even Patriarch Xianxian wasn't sure how to go to Heaven Stage Island. Not to mention Lin Yi himself. Other than that, Lin Yi had another hope, which was that he had Zhang Liju's medical notes. Lin Yi looked at the notes for a while before giving a copy to Lin Dongfang. He hoped that Zhang Liju could write this case down in his medical notes. Mr. Lin. This Zhang Liju, wasn't he said to be dead? Dake's face was pale. He knew about Zhang Liju's tomb, and he also knew that Lin Yi and Yu Shao had pledged their love in that tomb. Since he was already dead, how could he be saved? I have Mr. Zhang Liju's medical notes. I'll make a call and let the old man at home. That's my god-grandfather, see if there's any medical records of Yu Haitang. Lin Yi said. Ah. That's great. Mr. Lin, please make the call. Udake quickly said. Before, Lin Yi had asked old Lin about it, but old Lin wasn't very clear about it. If he were to search for information, he probably wouldn't be able to find Zhang Liju in such a short amount of time, but now he had a target. That would be much more convenient. Not long after the call connected, old Lin's voice came through the phone. You're back? Ugh. I didn't go back. I went to the Yu family in the Hakanamada desert. Lin Yi suddenly remembered that he didn't go back, nor did he tell old Lin about it, so he quickly explained the reason. I see, then. Have you found the reason for Yu Xiaoka's coma and the solution? Old Lin asked. I haven't found a good solution yet. I've found it, but I don't have any specific details. I only know that for now. It's caused by the depletion of spiritual energy, but there's no mention of how to fix it or how to treat it. Lin Yi said, the only thing I know is that the miracle doctor Zhang Liju treated her before, and it was successful. So, old man, why don't you take a look at Mr. Zhang Liju's medical notes and see if there's anything about this? Alright, I'll take a look. Old Lin nodded. Alright, let's do this for now. Contact me when you find it, Lin Yi said. Yu Dake, on the other hand, had organized all the life logs of the Yu ancestors. He was going to bring them back with him, not staying here any longer. He and Lin Yi packed up and left the mansion. There was nothing left here, so there was no point in staying here. Mr. Lin, are you going to find that poison lab? Yu Dake was surprised when he heard Lin Yi say that he was going to find his comrades. We've lived here for so many years, and we've never heard of any poison lab around here. Maybe it was just built these few years, and you guys have already left. Lin Yi shook his head. Let's ask the Bubbly clan about this. Who knows, they might know better. Alright, then we'll go to the Bubbly clan now. Yu Dake nodded. You want to come with me? Lin Yi wanted Yu Dake to go back, but he didn't expect him to follow. Yeah, let's go together. Let's see if we can help. Although my strength is lower, and I haven't broken through to Sky class yet, it's always good to have someone to help. Yu Dake said. Lin Yi nodded and didn't reject. The two only drove one car this time, which was Lin Yi's Grand Cherokee. The Land Rover was temporarily left in the mansion. There was no need to drive two cars. This time, the two of them went to the Bubbly clan. It could be said that they were familiar with the route and easily reached the Bubbly clan. But the one who stopped them was Tortu. But when Tortoise saw Lin Yi and Yu Dake, he immediately became enthusiastic. Turns out it's young hero Lin and young hero Yu. Did you come to take away some energy stones? I'm not taking away energy stones this time. There's no need to worry about energy stones for the time being. I have something to ask you. Lin Yi waved his hand. Do you know that there's a poison lab in the Hakanamada Desert? Poison lab? Tortu froze, and his expression slightly changed. Young hero Lin, I wonder, why are you asking about this? Lin Yi's heart sank when he saw Tortu's expression. Could it be that the Bubbly clan is related to the poison lab? If that's the case, wouldn't there be some resistance if I go to the poison lab? Chapter 3407. So that's what it is. Tortu's face suddenly relaxed. I thought it was something important. This is not a problem, young hero Lin, you can rest assured. I can't guarantee anything else, but for this matter, we can help you get someone back. That's good, thanks for the trouble. Listening to Tortu's tone, Lin Yi knew that this poison refining base must have something to do with the Bubbly clan, otherwise, Tortu wouldn't be so arrogant. No problem. Young hero Lin, you and young hero Yu stay here and rest first, then tell me who you are looking for and what he looks like. Just wait for my news. Tortu said while patting his chest. That's good. Lin Yi didn't refuse. He parked the car with Yu Dake and entered the Bubbly clan's residence. Lin Yi and Yu Dake walked into the Bubbly clan's residence. Not long after, Thori Moon came to Lin Yi and said enthusiastically, Young hero Lin, you came. I heard from Tortu that you are looking for your friend. Don't worry, we will help you with this matter. You don't have to worry, tell me your friend's name, and best if there is a photo. Then I will have to trouble old patriarch Thor. His name is Ingjijia, I will send the photo to you, please give me your email address. Lin Yi nodded, he doesn't have the mind to care about the relationship between the Bubbly clan and the poison refining base, as long as he can find the pangolin. Okay, thank you for your understanding, young hero Lin. Thori Moon said and gave his email address, then Lin Yi sent the pangolin's photo to him. Thori Moon nodded and went to work, while Lin Yi and Yu Dake rested in the room. After Thori Moon left, Yu Dake lowered his voice and said, Mr. Lin, it seems that there is something fishy going on between the poison refining base and the Bubbly clan. That's for sure, otherwise they wouldn't be able to do it. Lin Yi smiled and said faintly, but with their help, it will save us a lot of trouble. That's true, then we will wait for the news. Yu Dake nodded. At night, the patriarch of Paoli clan, Thor Ryu, invited Lin Yi and Yu Dake to a banquet. They treated Lin Yi as a distinguished guest. After all, having a good relationship with a formidable person like Lin Yi would only bring benefits and no harm to the Bubbly clan. Young hero Lin, don't worry. I've already talked to the poison refining base. The person in charge said that he had an impression of it. And the people in this base are all Asians, so they must be here. Thor Moon raised his glass and said, so young hero Lin can just wait patiently. He still has to give you face. Thank you. I'll wait. Lin Yi also raised his glass. Because the goal was achieved, the dinner was very harmonious. Over here. The person in charge of the poison refining base was called Lu Tianqi. He was considered a small leader. Of course, he was not as well off as Brother Defeng. Although they were both feudal lords, Lu Tianqi led a group of biohumans, which was incomparable to Brother Defeng. Today, the patriarch of the Paoli clan, Thor Moon, called him. He said that he wanted to take a person away, but he didn't take it seriously. After all, the place he was at belonged to the Paoli clan's sphere of influence. If he wanted to refine poison in peace, he couldn't avoid the Paoli clan. In order to seek peace, they paid a huge amount of money to the Paoli clan every year, and the Paoli clan wouldn't cause any trouble for him. If other forces came, the Paoli clan would also help to protect them. After all, the profit of refining poison was too high. Many aristocratic families, hidden aristocratic families, and sects coveted it. Without a powerful umbrella, the profit wouldn't be enough for these people. That was why the Bubbles clan had come to Lin Yi's aid when he was looking for someone. However, when Lu Qitian pulled out Ng Zijia's file, he was shocked. He thought that the Paoli clan was looking for him because he was someone who had just been captured by the poison refining base. Otherwise, why would they not look for him after so many years? However, this Ng Zijia was not only captured many years ago. His identity was also quite special. He was a special agent of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau, and he used the first batch of biohuman potions. There was no antidote for this kind of potion. It would destroy the person's mind and divine sense, and they could only rely on hypnosis to move. To put it bluntly, they were like walking corpses. However, the later potions were improved and had an antidote. Although they were hypnotized, they could still recover as long as they retained their mind. Of course, even if they could recover, Ng Zijia's identity as a special agent of the Supernatural Investigation Bureau couldn't be easily released. This was an important person that the headquarters had specially instructed. He didn't dare to release him without permission. Therefore, after hesitating again and again, he still called Thor Moon back. When Thor Moon saw that it was Lu Qitian's call, he picked up the phone in front of Lin Yi. Hello, Mr. Lu. How is it? Have you found the person I'm looking for? Patriarch Thor, I'm sorry. I don't have the person you're looking for here. Is there a mistake? I don't have any impression at all. Lu Qitian said. No. How is that possible? Didn't you tell me before that you had an impression of him? Thor Moon's face suddenly changed. You patted your chest and promised me before that there would be no problem. What do you mean now? Do you think I'm easy to fool? It was no wonder that Thor Moon was angry. He had repeatedly assured Lin Yi that there would be no problem. Now that he had boasted about it, but Lin Yi didn't get it done, where would Thor Moon put his face? It was like slapping himself in the face. Truth be told, Lu Qitian didn't dare to offend the Bubbly clan. If it weren't for the Bubbly clan's protection all these years in the Hakanamada desert, Lu Qitian would have been overwhelmed long ago if those big families and sects came to take advantage of him. However, he really had no way to deal with this matter. Hearing Thor Rimun's question, he knew that he couldn't hide it anymore. He could only lower his voice and remind him. Patriarch Thor, is there anyone around you? There are some words that I want to talk to you in private. There's no one, just say it. Thor Rimun couldn't get up and leave at this moment. If he left, it would seem that he had something to hide from Lin Yi. He could only bite the bullet and sit here. It's like this. Patriarch Thor, the person you asked me to find has a special identity. Lu Qitian said carefully. His file is locked by the headquarters. I can't let him go without authorization. What do you mean? Thor Rimun asked. Chapter 3408. What? Thor Ryu was stunned. He knew about the Supernatural Investigation Bureau and knew that the poison base belonged to the Red Conches. However, this was a foreign land, and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau couldn't control this place. Therefore, the Bubbly clan and the Supernatural Investigation Bureau didn't have much interaction. Yes, so if we let him out, you won't be happy if he turns into a demented biohuman. But if he returns to normal, the secret of the Red Conches will be leaked. At this point, Lu Qitian paused for a moment before continuing. Moreover, this person was captured a few years ago using the first batch of biohuman medicine. He can't recover without the antidote, so please don't make things difficult for me. I'm in the wrong here. How about we increase the tribute by 10% today? Every year, the poison base gave a lot of protection fees to the Bubbly clan. A 10% increase was a lot. It was obvious that Lu Qitian was in a difficult position. He couldn't afford to offend Thor Ryu. Otherwise, he wouldn't be so humble. I see. Thor Ryu hesitated for a moment and said, this is what someone asked me to do. I'll ask again. Okay, please understand, Patriarch Thor. Lu Qitian quickly said. After hanging up the phone, Thor Ryu's expression was extremely ugly, but he turned to look at Lin Yi apologetically. Young hero Lin, you must have heard the reason on the phone. What do you think? I want to ask, how much does this poison base have to do with the Bubbly clan? Lin Yi didn't answer directly, but asked a question instead. This. Thor Ryu hesitated for a moment and said, we are the local bullies in the Hakanamada desert. If he is here, he must seek our protection. If we don't do anything, many sects and families will come here every year to take advantage of us. Therefore, he pays us a large amount of protection fees every year. But that's all. The Bubbly clan won't participate in these things. Okay, in that case, if this poison base is gone, what will you do? Lin Yi said and looked at Thor Ryu. This. Thor Ryu didn't expect Lin Yi to be so ruthless. He actually said that he wanted the poison refinery to disappear. Don't you think this is a little too much? The Red Conch is behind that poison refining base. If you go against them. I'm just asking you, if I want this place to disappear, what will you say? Lin Yi asked word by word. Hey, young hero Lin. You also know that this poison refining base pays a lot of tribute to us every year. If it suddenly disappears. Thor Ryu was really distressed. 2 lives. Lin Yi raised his hand and raised 2 fingers as he lightly said, no matter how heavily injured your Bubbly clan is, you will never be able to escape. As long as he's hanging on to a single breath, I'll make him recover to his original state. When do we do it? Thor Ryu had a bitter expression just now, but at this moment, he stood up excitedly and asked. The difference between before and after made you Dake speechless. Just now, he said that he didn't want his income to disappear, and in the blink of an eye, he wants to help Lin Yi. However, Thor Ryu didn't care at all. Instead, he was very excited. The other members of the Bubbly clan were also very excited. Lin Yi's promise was much more important than the money Red Conch gave him. No matter how much money you had, you couldn't trade it for your life, especially for these top-level practitioners. Even if they use treasures to keep their lives, they wouldn't be able to survive. But his strength was gone. Therefore, Lin Yi's promise, not to mention money, even if he gave the poison refining base to the Bubbly clan, they wouldn't be tempted. Thor Ryu wouldn't be tempted. Don't worry, I'll go to the poison refining base to investigate and find my friend. After that, we'll destroy the poison refining base. Lin Yi said with a wave of his hand. I'm afraid that they'll kill my friend or move him to another place if we just go in and kill them. That's right, Lin Yi said. That's right, young hero Lin is very thoughtful. Thor Ryu nodded and said, all right, young hero Lin, I'll wait for your signal. If you encounter any danger, we'll rush in immediately. Thank you, old patriarch Thor. Lin Yi nodded. What are you talking about? It's what I should do. Thor Ryu smiled and shook his head. Well, I'll prepare. Lin Yi said with satisfaction. Mr. Lin, can I go with you? Udake asked. No, wait for my signal, I'll contact you. Lin Yi made a phone call gesture. Well, Mr. Lin, be careful. Although Thor Ryu didn't know how Lin Yi wanted to investigate, he didn't ask too much at the moment. If he asked too much, it would seem like he was going to inform Lu Qitian. In fact, he really didn't mean that. He was just concerned about Lin Yi. After the dinner with the Paoli clan, Lin Yi asked for the address of the poison refining base and went there alone. The poison refining base was located in the vast desert. If one didn't have the exact coordinates, it would be really difficult to find. Lin Yi quickly found the poison refining base by relying on satellite positioning. It was a place similar to a prison, with towering walls, gloomy iron gates, and no signs or buildings around it. Even from a distance, one would think it was a mirage. Lin Yi parked the car behind a small sand dune in the distance, recorded the coordinates, then got out of the car, put on the thousand silk mask, and walked towards the gloomy poison refining base. Lin Yi appeared at the door of the poison refining base. He reached out and knocked on the iron gate several times. In fact, even if Lin Yi didn't knock on the door, the people inside saw Lin Yi's arrival at the door through the surveillance. Two big men in cowboy clothes quickly appeared at the iron gate of the poison refining base. They were obviously a little puzzled by the sudden appearance of Lin Yi. What was this person doing? I heard that this is an illegal poison refining base. Lin Yi said as he knocked on the iron gate. Who are you? Where did you come from? What do you do? The two big men were a little wary of Lin Yi's question. They didn't confirm or deny it. You don't need to know where I'm from, people call me the Great Bandit. I'm here to get some money to spend. Lin Yi said with a cold smile as he kicked the door open. Chapter 3409. Ha 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 ha. The other burly man heard Lin Yi's words and laughed loudly, as if this was a very funny matter. Although there had been people who came to the base to cause trouble before, those people were either captured by the experts of the base to make drugs, or they were hard to deal with but were chased away by the Bubbly clan. However, those people always came in groups. It was rare to see a person like Lin Yi come alone. What are you laughing at? What's so funny? Is it that if I don't show a bit of my strength, you won't know that there's always someone better out there? Lin Yi said as he revealed the strength of an Earth-class early phase. He suppressed his strength to Earth-class early phase, so the two burly men didn't realize that Lin Yi was actually a Sky-class mid-phase master. That's all you've got? The two burly men saw Lin Yi's strength and were a bit confused. From their point of view, anyone who dared to come here to cause trouble must have some strength, at least a Sky-class master. But Lin Yi was just a small Earth-class early phase and yet he was so strong, the ignorant were truly fearless. What do you mean by that? Don't you know that in the mortal world, an Earth-class master is already a very powerful existence? I don't even see a golden class or mystic class master. Lin Yi said very fiercely. The two burly men were a bit speechless. Where did this rogue cultivator come from? Hadn't he heard of hidden families or ancient sects? And an Earth class was a very powerful existence? They were indeed a very powerful existence among the rogue cultivators, but in the ancient world, they were just small fries, and the two of them were only sky-class early phase masters. However, after knowing Lin Yi's strength, the two of them immediately looked at each other, and suddenly blocked Lin Yi's way from the left and right. You! What are you doing? Don't blame me for being impolite. Lin Yi immediately cried out in alarm. Heh, kid, you're just an Earth-class early phase and you're trying to act tough in front of us? You really don't know how high the sky is and how deep the Earth is. Saying that, the two burly men also revealed the strength of the early stage of heaven rank. Brat, if you don't want to die, then be obedient and don't move. Otherwise, I will make your death worthwhile. The so-called valuable death was to kill Lin Yi and send his corpse to those professors for research. Ah. You guys are actually heaven rank experts. How could this be? Wasn't this just a drug production base for a criminal organization? How could there be such a powerful expert here? Lin Yi was shocked. Humph. I'm not afraid to tell you that we are an internationally famous criminal organization. We have a lot of heaven rank experts. Of course, many of them were just to scare Lin Yi. In fact, there were not many of them. They were the only ones in this poison refining base, and even Lu Qitian was not a heaven ranked expert. Ah, I'm sorry, I'm just passing by. I'm leaving, quickly let me go. Lin Yi was trembling in fear and quickly said. You want to leave now? Sorry, it's too late. The burly man said coldly, since you're here, then stay here. No, you can't do this. My companions know that I'm here, they'll come looking for me. I'm not alone. Lin Yi shouted. Oh, that's good. Let's catch them when they come. The burly man said lightly. Lin Yi was only an Earth-class early phase expert. How powerful could his companions be? Ah, let me go, I'm very powerful. Lin Yi shouted. But he had already achieved his goal, and that was to sneak into the poison refining base. There was no other way as simple as this. Although Lin Yi's strength was superb, the place was heavily guarded. There were guards and cameras everywhere. It was not easy for Lin Yi to enter. Moreover, he had to hide his identity after entering and could not show his face. It would be even more difficult to investigate. But now that Lin Yi had been caught, they could openly investigate. Since these people had caught the pangolin to refine poison, then Lin Yi would come to their door and let them catch him. And sure enough, they caught Lin Yi. He was escorted into the poison refining base on both sides. Soon, a burly man went to report to Lu Qitian. But Lu Qitian had no interest in a small fry in the Earth-class early phase who came here to cause trouble. He let the two burly men send Lin Yi to be modified into a bio-human. Lin Yi was directly brought to a place that looked like a laboratory in the poison refining base. The person who received Lin Yi was a middle-aged man in a white coat. The burly man in black who did not go to report pushed Lin Yi to a chair and asked sternly, Kid, what's your name? Lin Yi, what's wrong? Are you afraid now? Starting to investigate my background? Lin Yi pretended to be arrogant as he asked. Haha. The burly man immediately laughed. Lin Yi, right? What kind of stupid name is that? I've never heard of it. From today onwards, your name is 9527. This will be your lifetime codename here, and it will never change. 9527? Lin Yi was stunned. This number was quite auspicious. Find all the mobile devices on his body and shackle him with handcuffs and leg cuffs. I'm going to modify him. The white coat said lightly. Okay, doctor. The burly man nodded and began to search Lin Yi's body. After searching for a long time, he did not find anything like a mobile phone. He only found a pill bottle with a small Huan pill. What kind of stupid thing is this? He threw it back to Lin Yi. He was not even interested in taking it. 9527, where's your phone number? Why do we cultivators need a phone number? Lin Yi was stunned. I didn't expect him to be poor. Give him an injection. As the burly man said this, he took out the shackles and handcuffed Lin Yi to the chair so that he could not move. This chair was made of fine steel and dark steel. Ordinary cultivators could not break free at all. Therefore, after the burly man handcuffed Lin Yi, he leisurely went to the side to rest. This time, it was the doctor's turn to start modifying Lin Yi. What is this? Oh my God, I heard that the people here will be modified into biohumans. Am I the same? Lin Yi exclaimed. Biohumans are old news. This is the latest medicine. It will allow you to maintain your will, but it will overdraft your physical strength when you work, the doctor said faintly. It will make it easier to manage if you have your own will. If you want to survive here, you must be obedient and work more. Only those who work more will give you food to eat. Chapter 34:10. In addition, there is poison in this potion. If you don't inject the antidote within a month, you will lose your self-consciousness forever and become a walking biohuman puppet. Ah, so bitter. Lin Yi couldn't help but look bitter after listening. Who asked you to break in without knowing your limits? You deserve it. Accept your fate. The doctor said indifferently and inserted a syringe into Lin Yi's arm. As the syringe was slowly pushed in, Lin Yi couldn't help but scream. In fact, the potion wasn't injected into Lin Yi's body at all. Instead, it was transferred by Lin Yi to the jade space when it was in the needle. This needle. Will there be any adverse reaction after I inject it? Although Lin Yi slowly transferred the potion into the jade space, Lin Yi was still worried. If there was any reaction after the injection and he didn't show it, wouldn't it cause these people suspicion? This kind of high-level potion won't have any reaction. Besides being more capable than a normal Earth stage master, you only need to inject the antidote once a month. That's good. Lin Yi seemed to have accepted his fate and lowered his head. I really shouldn't have come in the first place. There are many people who regret their actions. The doctor pulled out the syringe and said to the big man, Okay, take him away. We will start work tomorrow. Okay, doctor. After the big man finished, he unlocked the handcuffs and shackles on Lin Yi and took him out. Lin Yi was silent along the way and didn't resist. The big man didn't communicate anything with him. All the way to the door of a dormitory, Lin Yi was directly pushed in by the big man. The room was a 4-person room. On the bed in the room, there were 3 people sitting. After the big man pushed Lin Yi in, he left. Lin Yi looked around. In the 4-person room, there were 3 people sitting on the bed. Only the bed near the door was empty. Lin Yi walked towards that bed. Kid, you're pretty good. What level of master are you? Hurry up and report. On the bed opposite Lin Yi, a man with a flat top said. Lin Yi looked at him. He was just a mid-earth class master. This kind of trash was nothing in Lin Yi's eyes. Damn, I'm talking to you. Didn't you hear me? Kid, I'm telling you. If you don't want to work every day, then hurry up and greet our boss. This is our boss here, Meng Gao Hai. The flat-top man saw that Lin Yi ignored him and suddenly became angry. He stood up and walked towards Lin Yi. And pointed to a man with long hair who was leaning against the window. Lin Yi coldly glanced at the man named Meng Gao Hai. He was an early Earth class master. He really couldn't be underestimated. What Lin Yi didn't expect was that there was an early Earth class master here. He didn't know how he got caught, but this had nothing to do with Lin Yi. Lin Yi's purpose here was to find the pangolin. He couldn't be bothered with other people. So Lin Yi only took a glance and laid down on the bed. Fuck, kid, are you looking to die? The flat-top man saw that Lin Yi was still ignoring him. He immediately became angry and revealed his mid-earth class strength. Well, I actually didn't want you to die. But since you want to, I can only satisfy you. I'm already unhappy enough that I was caught. If you provoke me again, don't blame me for being impolite. Lin Yi looked at the flat-top man and said lightly. Ha! The flat-top man acted like he heard a funny joke and tried to grab at Lin Yi. But before he could touch Lin Yi directly used the first style of the frenzy 8 trigrams palm. The first style of the frenzy 8 trigrams palm. Lin Yi hadn't used the first style in a long time, but it was enough to deal with such a low-level master. Boom dash, the flat-top man immediately screamed and flew backwards. He fell to the ground with a loud bang and couldn't move at all. The people at the base didn't care about this kind of fight between practitioners. It didn't matter if there was one more or one less. These people were also arrogant and unruly. It was difficult to use high-pressure policies to control them. How is this possible? An early Earth class master? How could he hurt Fan Zi? The long-haired man, Meng Gaohai, finally took Lin Yi seriously. He stood up and revealed his early Earth class strength. But kid, no matter how strong you are, against me, you're still an existence that can take a beating. Early Earth class? I'm sorry, I've beaten a lot of Heaven class masters. You're the weakest one. Lin Yi said lightly. Since he made a move, Lin Yi suddenly changed his mind. Before, he had the mentality of a lone hero and investigated the pangolin by himself. But now it seemed like he couldn't. These people didn't have any intention of letting him go. But since they didn't let him go, then he'd beat them into submission. It just so happened that Lin Yi wanted to find some people to ask for information tomorrow. Of course, if he wanted to get the information he needed, he would have to pay some benefits. But now, these people didn't even need to pay any benefits. He just needed to use his strength to subdue them and make them do things for him. This Meng Gaohai was an early Earth class master and the boss here. Then he was probably a person whose words carried weight. With him here, it would save a lot of trouble. Of course, Lin Yi didn't need him to obey him wholeheartedly. As long as he was forced to submit, it would be fine. Anyway, Lin Yi didn't intend to take them as his underlings. In the world of cultivation, the strong were respected. It was the same everywhere. So as long as Lin Yi subdued Meng Gaohai, everything would be fine. Haha. Meng Gaohai laughed loudly. Just an early Earth class, but you talk big. Have you seen a Heaven class master before? If you're really that strong, why would you be caught and brought here? Fiery 8 trigrams palm, 6th form. Lin Yi waved his hand and slapped Meng Gaohai's body. Lin Yi didn't want to talk to him anymore. It was useless to say anything. Only strength mattered. With Lin Yi's speed, it would be easy to kill him. It was just that Lin Yi didn't want to kill him. Pfft. Meng Gaohai was still laughing when he suddenly spat out a mouthful of blood. His whole body was sent flying. Luckily, Lin Yi had some leeway, so he didn't die on the spot. Meng Gaohai fell to the ground and spat out a few mouthfuls of blood. Panting, he said, You're not an early Earth class. You hid your strength. Chapter 34:11. This was not Lin Yi bragging. If little one were to be released, these people would not be able to stand up to him at all. Then come here, cough cough. While speaking, Meng Gaohai spat out a few more mouthfuls of blood. Although Lin Yi had left some leeway, he was still a Heaven stage early stage expert. As he spoke, he was already a little weak. Seeing Meng Gaohai's appearance, the other people in the dormitory were also shocked, especially the crew cut. He regretted going to Lin Yi before. You're dying. I'll give you a choice. Help me and I will cure you, or wait for death here. Lin Yi glanced at Meng Gaohai and said faintly. If you can cure me, I will definitely surrender. Meng Gaohai knew how serious his injuries were. He was about to die. Did he have a choice? Although he could not get out of the poison refining base and was refining poison every day, who would be willing to die? Especially since he was the boss here. With someone supporting him, he would live a comfortable life and would not want to die. Now, although he had to surrender to Lin Yi, he would still be above tens of thousands of people. He was also a very powerful existence. Therefore, he agreed without hesitation. Okay. Lin Yi nodded, then glanced at the crew cut and said to him, "You come here too. Your boss has surrendered. You don't want to stubbornly resist me and wait for death, do you?" No, boss 9527, we will listen to you in the future." The crew cut's injury was not particularly serious, but it was not good either. He quickly crawled over and expressed his loyalty to Lin Yi. Meng Gaohai did not care. He had already surrendered himself. How could he expect his younger brother to be loyal to him? "Then I will save your lives." After Lin Yi said that, he activated the art of dragon mastery and then healed the injuries of Meng Gaohai and the crew cut. Although Lin Yi said before that he could cure them, Meng Gaohai and the crew cut didn't believe it. After all, their injuries were very serious. The small rejuvenation pill was useless. They had to take the great rejuvenation pill. If Lin Yi had the great cyclic pill, it was impossible that it hadn't been taken away when he came in. Therefore, they just had the thought of giving it a try, but they didn't expect that Lin Yi actually didn't give them medicinal pills, but used true qi to heal their injuries. This was simply too magical. Feeling the injuries in their bodies recovering bit by bit, they admired and revered Lin Yi. It came from the bottom of his heart. This was how the world of cultivation worked. The strong were revered. If one was only a little stronger, they might hate them in their hearts and think of ways to surpass them. However, if it was too much stronger, it was already beyond imagination, so there was nothing to hate. Since he couldn't surpass it, he might as well obediently submit. Their injuries healed very quickly. Lin Yi glanced at them and said, "Now, all of you have recovered. You can also choose to pretend to submit, and then secretly go and tell the people in the poison refining base that I'm just hiding my strength." "I wouldn't dare." Meng Gaohai quickly shook his head and said, "I, Meng Gaohai, am not a treacherous villain, and I'm not a brainless fool. Boss 9527, since you're so powerful that you could seriously injure me with one move, dealing with a few guards in this poison refining base should be a piece of cake. When the time comes, you'll definitely take care of me as well. Unless there's something wrong with me, I won't do that. It seems that you're quite clear about this." Meng Gaohai's answer surprised Lin Yi. What he was most worried about was that these people would not work and go and tell on him, ruining his plan. Although he wasn't afraid of the people in this poison refining base, these people definitely wouldn't be able to keep him here. However, his purpose here was to find the pangolin, so it was better to keep a low profile. However, after thinking about it carefully, it seemed that this Meng Gaohai was really afraid. Lin Yi didn't say anything more. "Yeah, boss 9527, you must have a purpose for coming here, right? If there's anything, just call me, your little brother, to do it. Not to mention anything else, I still have some power here," Meng Gaohai said quickly. What he was most afraid of was that Lin Yi couldn't use him. If Lin Yi really couldn't use him, what if Lin Yi killed him? "Well, do you know where the first batch of biohumans live?" Lin Yi asked. "The first batch of biohumans? Oh, boss, you're talking about those walking dead. They're not here, but in another dormitory building," Meng Gaohai said. "So, we don't have any interaction with them?" Lin Yi couldn't help but frown after listening. "That's not it." Meng Gaohai saw Lin Yi frown, so he immediately said, "Our daily work areas are still very close to each other." "Very close? Then, can we go over?" Lin Yi asked with some anticipation after listening. "That's not possible." Meng Gaohai shook his head and said, "The work areas are not together, but I can go over sometimes." "Oh? Why do you say that?" Lin Yi asked. "Aren't I the boss here? Some cyborgs are also very powerful. Because the initial medicine is not perfect, if these cyborgs are not hypnotized well, they might go crazy. I will cooperate with them to suppress them. Correspondingly, this place will also give me some special privileges. Meng Gaohai explained, Boss, if you have anything to do, I will find an opportunity to do it. Oh, if that's the case, then take a look at this photo. As Lin Yi said this, he took out the mobile phone from the space in the jade pendant. It was like he took it out from his arms, which made Meng Gaohai stunned. Lin Yi came here, and he actually brought a mobile phone with him? Weren't they all taken away? Mine were taken away in the beginning. However, in his opinion, Lin Yi had already been classified as an extraordinary person. It was reasonable for him to be a little more powerful than others. Thinking of this, Meng Gaohai quickly looked at the photo in Lin Yi's hand carefully. Looking at the photo, Meng Gaohai couldn't help but reminisce. After a while, Meng Gaohai said, I seem to have some impression of this person. Because he went crazy, I was the one who suppressed him. Oh. Are you sure? Lin Yi's breathing suddenly became rapid. He turned his head to look at Meng Gaohai and said anxiously, Take a closer look. There's no mistake, it's this person. Meng Gaohai nodded and said, I don't remember this person's name, but I remember that he should be a golden class master. However, after injecting the potion, when he goes crazy, he can reach mystic class or even earth class. That day, the 2 heaven class guards weren't there. They were afraid that he would hurt someone, so I went to suppress him. Then, is he safe? Lin Yi asked quickly. Chapter 34:12. Oh. Then I will leave this matter to you. If you do well, I will take you out. As for the biochemical poison in your body, I will find someone to help you get rid of it. The person Lin Yi thought of was Big Brother Feng. Since Big Brother Feng was also a leader in the poison refining base, then he should more or less know something about biochemical potions. Maybe he also had the antidote formula or source. Really? Thank you so much, boss. Although living here was more comfortable, no one wanted to be used as a slave. Meng Gaohai was a heaven stage expert. He was a very proud existence. How could he not feel aggrieved when he was refining poison here every day? In the past, there was no other way. He was happy to be the boss here, but after a long time, it was inevitable that he would get bored. It was just that there was no chance to go out. Now that Lin Yi had promised him, it meant that Lin Yi should have a way. In his eyes, Lin Yi was a powerful person. Not only was he strong, but he also knew how to heal. So, it was not unrealistic that he could detoxify the poison. Thinking of this, Meng Gaohai was very excited. He secretly vowed to help Lin Yi with this matter. Then, boss, can I go out with you? Crew Cut asked carefully. And me? The underling who had been stunned before also returned to normal at this moment. He quickly followed and asked. The 3 of you, come with me when the time comes. I can't manage so many people. Lin Yi was not the kind of person who liked to meddle in other people's business. Although he had changed in the past year, that was only for people related to him and around him. Lin Yi really didn't care about other people. Great, thank you, boss 9527. Crew Cut and the naive underling quickly thanked him. Don't thank him first. See if he has any use for you. Lin Yi waved his hand and pointed to Meng Gaohai. I can really use you. Meng Gaohai thought about it and hesitated for a moment. How about this? Tomorrow, you will suffer a little. Provoke those hypnotized biohumans and let them beat you up. I will stand up for you. Then, it will be justifiable. No problem. Crew Cut and Dumb Little Brother agreed without hesitation. Not to mention being beaten up, they didn't mind even if they were beaten half to death. Didn't you see how Boss 9527 healed his injuries in an instant? That's good. Let's do it tomorrow, and so on and so forth. Meng Gaohai said his plan. Lin Yi listened to it. Although it was simple, it was really feasible. It could be seen that Meng Gaohai was also a person with a plan. He had found the right person. The night passed in silence. Meng Gaohai, the crew cut, and the little bro were all very respectful towards Lin Yi, and Lin Yi learned their names and nicknames. Early the next morning, a loud and clear horn sounded. This was the reveille signal for the poison refinery base. Of course, it was meant for laborers like them. Those cyborgs had been hypnotized. When it was time, they would automatically wake up and head to the work area. "Boss, shall we go together?" Meng Gaohai carefully asked Lin Yi. "Well, when we're outside, you're still the boss." "I'll call you boss, and you can just call me Little E," Lin Yi said. "This. Okay." Meng Gaohai hesitated for a moment, then nodded in fear and trepidation. He also knew that if Lin Yi suddenly became his boss, it would inevitably attract some unnecessary attention. It was better to keep a low profile. The four of them left the dormitory together. Lin Yi, crew cut, and dumb little brother followed behind. They had become followers just like them. When some people saw Lin Yi's new face, they did not pay much attention to it. Since Meng Gaohai had brought him along and did not bully him too much, it meant that this person was already Meng Gaohai's little brother. No one would cause trouble for him. Along the way to the work area, a pungent smell assaulted their nostrils. It was steaming hot and something was being refined. Lin Yi could tell from the smell that they were refining methamphetamine. It seemed that this drug refining area was not refining drugs, but chemical drugs. After entering the work area, Lin Yi learned from the others and began to work. At this time, crew cut and dumb little brother were nowhere to be seen. However, these two people were Meng Gaohai's little brothers. Naturally, no one would question them. Meng Gaohai's authority was not just a matter of a day or two. Even the people who patrolled the drug refining base turned a blind eye to Meng Gaohai. After all, sometimes they had to rely on him to manage these prisoners. After working for a while in the work area, Lin Yi imitated what the others were doing. Fortunately, Meng Gaohai was there to take care of him, giving him a simple procedure. All he had to do was pick it up and put it down. Although Lin Yi was a heaven-ranked expert, there were too many biohumans here. It was impossible for Lin Yi to sense them one by one. After a while, crew cut and dumb little brother came back. Both of their faces were full of injuries, and they walked with a limp. When they saw Meng Gaohai, they immediately cried, "Boss, when we went to the toilet, we passed by the biohuman's work area and were beaten up by a crazy biohuman." "What? Beaten up by a crazy biohuman? Tell me, what the hell is going on? What's going on? How dare they beat up my little brother?" Meng Gaohai was furious and said anxiously. Meng Gaohai was famous for being overbearing. Moreover, he had connections with the management of the drug refining base. Therefore, when Meng Gaohai was angry, the others did not think that there was anything wrong. When these people first came, many of them were beaten up by Meng Gaohai. At this time, a management of the drug refining base walked over. When he saw Meng Gaohai, he quickly comforted him, "Old Meng, that's enough. Why are you arguing with a mindless biohuman? When those people go crazy, there is no reason at all. If you get angry because of this, it's not worth it. It's fine if it's usually, but they beat up my little brother like this. If I don't do anything about it, what will others think? Especially this new little brother of mine. Yesterday, I patted my chest and promised that no one here would dare to bully him. Who would have thought that in the blink of an eye, two of my little brothers would be beaten up like this? If I don't stand up for them, what will 9,527 think of my new little brother?" Meng Gaohai said as he pointed at Lin Yi. He was very agitated. Chapter 34:13. Actually, it's easy. I'll ask them to point out to me which biohuman did it. Then, we'll beat him up and forget about it. Meng Gaohai snorted. This. All right. The manager hesitated for a moment, but he still nodded. However, he said, bring him out and bring him back to the dormitory to clean him up. Don't stay here. It's not a good influence, and it'll also affect other people's work. All right, don't worry. I'll give you face. Meng Gaohai pretended to give face and nodded. In fact, he was overjoyed deep down. He knew that it would not be good to teach others a lesson in the work area. The manager would definitely suggest that he bring the person out. He had experienced this a few times already. Then you go. The rest of you, continue with your work. The manager said to the others. Xiao Yi, it's 9527. Come with me. I'll show you how much I can protect you as a boss. Meng Gaohai waved at Lin Yi, indicating that he should follow him. Okay, boss. Lin Yi nodded. He put down the work in his hands and followed behind Meng Gaohai. Chapter 34:14. Since ancient times, no one who went to Sky Class Island had ever returned. This made Lin Yi feel no pressure towards those who were about to make it to the island. If they wanted to go, then go. Once it opens, I'll take the method to break through Sky's laws and bring my inheritor home. Whether or not they could break through Sky's laws depended on luck. Sky Class Island was rumored to be rich in spiritual energy, but compared to the Jade Space, Lin Yi felt that it definitely wasn't as good. Instead of going to the island, they might as well go home and train by themselves. Lin Yi didn't want to get involved so much if those people all went up. Even if they broke through Sky's laws before Lin Yi, they wouldn't be able to come back. Lin Yi was already a top master in the common world of practitioners. No one could shake Lin Yi's strength anymore. If he stayed in the common world of practitioners, Lin Yi could retire and continue living a rich life with the Miss and the others. But now, for Yu Xiaoka, Lin Yi had to go to Sky Class Island because Zhang Liju was there. If he wanted Yu Xiaoka to wake up, Lin Yi would have to ask Zhang Liju for advice. This way, even if Lin Yi didn't want to go to the island, he would have to. He pulled out his phone and dialed Dafeng Bro's number as he came back to reality. There weren't even any guards in the dorm now. They were all working during the day, and even if Meng Gaohai brought people back, there wouldn't be anyone watching him. As long as they guarded the door and made sure no one could escape, it would be fine. Plus, these practitioners all relied on medicine and antidotes to survive. Who would dare leave on their own? They'd all seen those disobedient practitioners struggle and die in pain when their antidotes were cut off. So, no one dared to do something as irrational as running away. Seeing Lin Yi take out his phone, Meng Gaohai, the crew head, and the little guy stood at the side respectfully. Hello? Who is this? Lin Yi was using a satellite phone, and Dafeng Bro didn't recognize the number. It's me, Lin Yi said faintly. Ah. Your boss Lin Yi. Why are you looking for me? Big Brother Feng asked in fear and trepidation. He already knew what happened in the Red Conch headquarters. The general manager was not an idiot. After retrieving the surveillance footage of the nearby streets, he locked onto Lin Yi. With the words of He Luan Duan from the Overseas Cultivators Association, he was even more certain that Lin Yi was the imposter. Then, after confirming what had happened in the country, he knew that this person was the one who had killed military counselor Zhuge. It could be said that the general manager hated him to the core. Did the things I did overseas get exposed? Lin Yi asked. The Red Conch HQ, yeah. The general manager already knows that you did it, and he mentioned it to me. However, he also knows that I don't have any masters here, so he gave up and didn't continue to target you. Big Brother Feng quickly said, if he wants to make a move, I will inform you immediately. I didn't call you this time mainly to talk about this. Let me ask you, do you have the antidote for the biohumans in the poison refining base? Asked Lin Yi. The antidote for biohumans? Boss Lin Yi, are you talking about the former biohumans or the later kind of semi-biological humans? Big Brother Feng asked quickly after listening. I want both, said Lin Yi. Although Meng Gaohai didn't know who the person on the phone was, he was relieved when he heard Lin Yi say that he wanted both. It seemed that Lin Yi hadn't forgotten about him. He was really afraid that Lin Yi would ignore him after the matter was done. Of course, he didn't dare to act rashly. After all, his strength was there, and he was no match for Lin Yi at all. The first kind of biohuman, that kind of injecting drug without any thoughts, has no antidote. Big Brother Feng said, that kind of drug destroys a person's mind, which is also called divine sense by us cultivators. It destroys the mind, makes the person lose their own thoughts, and can only be controlled through hypnosis. Big Brother Feng's words shocked Lin Yi. There was no antidote? Previously, Lu Qitian had vaguely mentioned it, and now that Big Brother Feng said so, there might really be no antidote. After all, Big Brother Feng was also the person in charge of the poison refining base. He knew more. Mind. Divine sense. Wasn't that similar to Yu Xiaoka's situation? Yu Xiaoka had overexerted her divine sense and fainted, while Armadillo's divine sense was destroyed. Although the two were not the same, they were similar. At this thought, Lin Yi breathed a sigh of relief. Perhaps Zhang Liju would have a way, right? What about the second kind of semi-biological humans? Lin Yi asked. There is an antidote for that. Although I don't know how to make the antidote, and I don't know the formula, I still have some stock here. It can detoxify a small number of people, 8 to 10 is no problem, but if there are too many, I'll have to think of other ways, Big Brother Feng said directly. That's enough. Lin Yi nodded and looked at Meng Gaohai, then said, actually, even if you don't have it, you can apply to the headquarters. What do you mean? Boss Lin Yi? Big Brother Feng paused. I'm now at the poison refining base in Hakanamada Desert. I'll bring people to flatten this base, but there are 3 people here who are my lackeys, and they've helped me before. Let them follow you from now on, let them be your underlings. One of them is a Sky-class early phase, he should be your helper. Lin Yi said, when the time comes, when I attack this place, you bring some people over. You can just say that it was this Sky-class who gave you the information. That way, both you and him will be considered meritorious. Even if you didn't save Lu Qitian's life, at least you did your best. As for the whereabouts of the biohumans in the poison refining base, it was not Lin Yi's concern. Big Brother Feng could take them wherever he wanted. It was not that Lin Yi did not want to save them, but he could not. A type of biohuman could not recover at all. Lin Yi still had a patient here, and the antidote for a type of biohuman was not enough. It was better to let Big Brother Feng continue to take them to do hard labor, which could be considered saving their lives. The Bubbly clan would not be without income. Okay, no problem. Thank you, Boss Lin Yi. Big Brother Feng immediately responded after hearing it. After hanging up the phone, Lin Yi looked at the excited Meng Gaohai and the other 2 and said lightly, this is also your good fortune. In the future, follow De Feng well. He's also my lackey. Maybe in the future, when I completely destroy the red conches, I'll need your help. Chapter 34:15. As for Lin Yi, he dialed the phone number of the Bubble Clan's patriarch, Thor Ryan. Young hero Lin, should we start now? Thor Ryan had been waiting for a long time. Old patriarch Thor, I've changed my mind. Lin Yi said faintly. Ah. Thor Ryan's heart suddenly skipped a beat. Changed his mind? Doesn't that mean that Lin Yi doesn't want to do anything to the poison refining base? Does that mean that Thor Ryan's promise is useless? In a while, bring some people here and kill all the management in the poison refinery. As for the biohumans, find some of the villains and kill them. After that, one of my subordinates will come and take over this place. He will push all the blame onto the great bandits. Your Bubbly clan will not get involved. If the poison refining base continues to stay here, you will still have an annual income. Lin Yi sighed. In the end, he was still a bit soft-hearted. He only let the Bubble Clan kill some evil people, not all the biohumans. As for the poison refining base, Lin Yi isn't worried. With Big Brother Feng in control, they won't do anything evil and won't poison their own people. Lin Yi wanted to take out some biohumans, and when Dafeng Bro reported it, he'd say that Armadillo was killed as well, and he'd be able to get away with it. So that's how it is. Thor Ryan was surprised and happy. He quickly said, I know, I'll bring some people over. As long as Lin Yi doesn't go back on his word, it's fine. Moreover, this is beneficial to the Bubble Clan, so why not? With Thor Ryan's order, all the experts of the Bubble Clan were dispatched. On a dark and windy night, all the members of the Red Conch clan in the poison refining base will be killed. Meng Gaohai didn't expect that Lin Yi could actually order the patriarch of the Thor clan. This made them very shocked. Lin Yi being able to control the high-ranking members of the Red Conch clan was already very shocking. Now, Lin Yi is simply an immortal. Okay, I'll wait for you here. Lin Yi nodded, hung up the phone, and waited quietly. The experts of the Bubbly clan gathered together, so it was easy for them to destroy the base. In just one night, all the members of the Red Conch clan were wiped out. According to the files of these biohumans, Thor Ryu chose some of the evildoers and killed them. Their corpses were also dismembered, making it impossible for people to identify them. After doing all this, they brought their people and quietly retreated. As for Meng Gaohai, because of his early warning, although he didn't manage to save the lives of the Red Conch members, he managed to protect the poison refining base. Even if Meng Gaohai's actions were reported, no one would feel that there was anything wrong with it. This was because Meng Gaohai was the boss of the poison refining base, and he also had some management authority. It was just that he did not wear the uniform of the poison refining base's manager, so he was spared. As the boss, he naturally knew where to call. He found the boss of the nearby Red Conch clan, Big Brother Dafeng, and asked him to come and help. Then, everything made sense. Pangolin was quietly taken away by Lin Yi. Few people knew that he was still alive. These people were Lin Yi's men. When the general manager learned that the poison refining base in the Hakonamida desert had been destroyed, he was very angry. Dafeng, what the hell is going on? Who did it? General manager, I'm not sure either. When I came here, those people had already left. However, I heard that it was because they came here to extort money. Not only did Lu Qitian, the person in charge of this place, refuse to pay them, but he also threatened them. He even captured a few of their people to do hard labor. Later on, this group of people brought a lot of expert companions and directly destroyed the poison refining base. Brother Dafeng explained. What about the Bubbly clan? Isn't that the territory of the Bubbly clan? Why didn't Lu Qitian ask for help from the Bubbly clan? The general manager frowned and asked. Isn't it all that Lu Qitian's fault? At first, he thought that the other party was a pushover. Not only did he chase them away, but he also forcibly detained a few of them to do hard labor. Later, he did not take it seriously. After those people went back, they called people over and directly destroyed the poison refining base. Lu Qitian did not even have a chance to make a phone call before he hung up. If it wasn't for the boss of a poison refining base called Meng Gaohai, who quickly called me according to the contact number, I wouldn't even know what happened here. Big Brother Dafeng explained somewhat helplessly. If I didn't come quickly, these biohumans would probably be dead. Damn, this Lu Qitian. The general manager was very angry after hearing this. He is really used to being arrogant. He has no vigilance at all. A good poison refining base has been destroyed like this. Now, how much have we lost? The losses are very serious. All the poison refining materials have been destroyed, all the technical staff are dead, and some of the biohumans are dead. Other than that, we didn't lose much because there is no cash here. However, if we want to start operating again, it will be impossible without a year and a half of planning, Big Brother Defong said. All right, I'll leave the affairs over there to you. The general manager said helplessly. Get it up and running again as soon as possible. Everyone will be under your management. Yes, general manager. Big Brother Defong quickly said. And now, Big Brother Defeng's power had been expanded once more. Lin Yi brought Armadillo back to the Bubbly Clan's manor, but Lin Yi didn't feel any joy from victory. Armadillo was in a very bad state right now, and he could only rely on Zhang Liju. But at least there was hope. That night, Lin Yi said goodbye to the Bubbly Clan and returned to Songshan with Yu Dake. Finding Armadillo, Lin Yi wanted to tell Ziyu as soon as possible. After all, this was something he could do for Ziyu. The car sped all the way, and in the afternoon of the second day, they finally arrived at the gates of Songshan's first school. Looking at the familiar campus, Lin Yi couldn't help but feel a little emotional. He still remembered that day in March last year, when he came here and met the Miss and Shu for the first time, starting a feud with Zhong Pingliang. He didn't expect that the people from back then had already left, and Zhong Pingliang had obtained his fortune, becoming a member of the Everyday and Everyday sect. The Miss and Shu had become inheritors, and were about to embark on their journey to Sky Class Island. Chapter 34:16. It didn't take long for Ziyu to reply. Lin Yi bro, are you here? That's great. We're studying this afternoon, I'll go find you with Shi now. Lin Yi couldn't help but smile bitterly at the message. This Ziyu was really in a rush, not even going to school. However, Lin Yi knew that Ziyu had feelings for him, but he couldn't promise her anything right now. The Miss, Xiao Xiao, Xinyan, Shu, Xiaoke, and the others were all connected to his fate, future, and mission. They couldn't be separated, but Lin Yi didn't want Ziyu and Qin Shi to get involved. They were too young, and they didn't know how cruel the world of practitioners was. He'd bring them along if they still wanted to follow him when he was at ease one day and all these things were settled. But he couldn't do that now. Not long later, Ziyu and Qin Shi ran out of school hand in hand, their faces filled with excitement and joy. Lin Yi didn't know if she'd still be this happy after he told her about her brother, Yingzhijia. At that thought, Lin Yi sighed softly and decided to tell the truth. Now that he had news of Armadillo, he didn't want to hide it from Ziyu anymore. Lin Yi bro, you're here. Why haven't you seen me and Shi lil sis? Do you not want us anymore? Ziyu ran over and jumped into Lin Yi's embrace, making Lin Yi pick her up helplessly. Qin Shi, on the other hand, was a bit bashful, not as bold as Ziyu. She just stood on the side, looking at Lin Yi shyly. All right, Ziyu, you're a big girl now. Don't you know that guys and girls shouldn't touch each other? How are you going to get a boyfriend like this? Lin Yi put Ziyu down. She and I are Lin Yi bro's sisters. What boyfriend? Ziyu looked at Lin Yi, confused. Looking at Ziyu's face, Lin Yi was even more sure of his guesses. He didn't think that after all this time, not only did their feelings for him not fade, they'd gotten stronger instead. Before, Ziyu was just using Qin Shi as a cover. But now, she wasn't hiding her feelings at all. This made Lin Yi suspect that Ziyu and Qin Shi had some sort of agreement. In fact, it was true. Ziyu had always been joking about Qin Shi and Lin Yi, but one night she had a dream and spilled the beans. He also spoke out his own thoughts. Qin Shi had been suspecting her from the start, and now that Qin Shi had recorded her sleep talking, there was no way Ziyu could deny it. But Ziyu wasn't a shy person like Qin Shi. Since she'd opened her heart, she continued to brainwash Qin Shi, tricking her. She said that the two of them would follow Lin Yi from now on. With so many people competing with Meng Yao, they wouldn't have any advantage at all. Plus, Qin Shi wasn't the proactive type. She'd be at a disadvantage if she didn't see Lin Yi for half a month, wouldn't she? Qin Shi thought about it. She really did have that kind of personality. Having Ziyu's help would be better, so she agreed. But Lin Yi didn't know that. That was why he asked. Sisters. What do boyfriends have to do with? Lin Yi blinked. Lin Yi bro, haven't you heard of this song? Just how many sisters do you have? Ziyu hummed boldly. Pfft. Lin Yi finally understood what Ziyu was getting at. He couldn't help but feel troubled. To tell the truth, Lin Yi didn't want Ziyu and Chen Shi to talk about their relationship right now. It wouldn't be easy for Lin Yi to deal with that. After all, there were too many dangerous things Lin Yi had to do, and it was better for them to maintain that vague brother-sister relationship. And so, Lin Yi acted like he didn't understand. What does this have to do with singing? Ziyu panicked seeing that Lin Yi didn't understand. Sister, that kind of sister isn't a real sister. God sister means God sister. What do you mean by sister? Lin Yi said, pretending like he didn't hear the difference in pronunciation. Stepsister. Run. Little mistress. Do you understand? Ziyu panicked. Lin Yi was regretting shooting himself in the foot. If he'd changed the topic earlier, there wouldn't be so much trouble, but now that Ziyu was talking about it, Lin Yi really didn't know what to do. Lin Yi bro, don't listen to Ziyu, she likes to joke around like this. Chen Shi saw Lin Yi's awkwardness and quickly explained, feeling a little down. Did Lin Yi not like her? You're still young, we'll talk about it when you're older. Lin Yi didn't reject her outright. Ziyu was going to face an even bigger setback later, so Lin Yi didn't say much about it. See, I told you Lin Yi bro couldn't abandon us, right? Our youth is invincible, we have too many advantages. Ziyu nodded happily. Oh. Chen Shi lowered her head, a little embarrassed. Ziyu, let's not talk about this first. I came to you for something else, but you have to be strong after you hear it. Lin Yi said seriously. Ziyu paused, not expecting Lin Yi to say something like that. After a while, she said carefully, is it about my brother? Yeah. Lin Yi nodded. It seemed that Ziyu was happy on the outside, but she was worried about her brother. You have to be prepared, I know. Ziyu's eyes reddened. Lin Yi bro. I've guessed it since the moment you came looking for me. My brother asked you to take care of me even if you're comrades. There's no way he wouldn't have left a letter or a recording, it's not just a picture. My brother used to be on missions, but he'd still contact me occasionally, but this time. It's been so long, and there's still no news. Ziyu's tears fell as she spoke. Lin Yi's heart ached a little as he hugged her, patting her soft back. Ziyu, don't be sad, it's not as bad as you think. Your brother Zhijia didn't die, Ziyu raised her head, her eyes wide with tears. Lin Yi bro, do you think my brother, he didn't die, but he's like a vegetable now. Lin Yi could only explain it like that. Advertisement, recommend a good book, Super Soldier. Everyone can go read it. Chapter 34:17. Without the hypnosis, even if Ing Zhijia woke up, he'd be no different from a vegetable. My brother's not dead? Then where is he? Ziyu said excitedly. Lin Yi bro, you're a miracle doctor, right? You can cure Shi's mom's cancer, I'm sure you can cure my brother too, right? That's not bad. Lin Yi knew that he was lying to her, but he had no other choice. But right now, we're missing an important ingredient, and we can only get it in a dangerous place. Dangerous? Ziyu paused, starting to worry. On one side was her brother, and on the other side was the person she loved. She wanted her brother to wake up, but she didn't want Lin Yi to be in danger. Then, if it's too dangerous, we can think of something else? Lin Yi could tell what Ziyu was thinking. He sighed at how much she cared for him. It'll be dangerous if I go now, because I'm not strong enough yet. But after some time, when I'm strong enough, it'll be a piece of cake. But you'll have to wait. Yes, it's fine to wait, as long as you guys are safe. Ziyu said quickly. Lin Yi bro, you have to get stronger before you go, don't take the risk. I understand. I'm not only responsible for myself, but also for the armadillo. If I go without enough strength, not only will I die, but I won't be able to get the ingredient. Wouldn't that be a huge loss? Lin Yi shook his head with a smile. Yes, that's good. Ziyu breathed out in relief, not as pessimistic as before. There was still hope for her brother, and she trusted Lin Yi a lot. If Lin Yi said there was a way, then there must be a way. With that thought, Ziyu returned to her lively self. Lin Yi bro, where's my brother? Can I see him? Of course, it's in the car. Lin Yi pointed at the Jeep Cherokee not far behind him and said. Ziyu ran over quickly. Yudake got off the car and helped Ziyu open the trunk, seeing Ying Zhijia lying inside. Brother. Ziyu blurted out, remembering that her brother couldn't hear her right now. Looking at her brother's pale face, Ziyu felt heartache and gratified at the same time. If it weren't for Lin Yi's help, she might not even be able to see her brother again. Ziyu, don't be too sad. I'll do what I promised you. Lin Yi patted her shoulder solemnly. And, then you said that I can be with you when I grow up. You'll do that too, right? Ziyu suddenly asked. Wah? Lin Yi didn't expect her to ask like that, feeling a little awkward. He was just brushing it off, but now it had escalated to a point where he had to agree. It put Lin Yi in a difficult position, but Lin Yi wasn't a shy person. He nodded after some hesitation. As long as you're willing, you'll be my sister for the rest of my life. You're my god sister. Ziyu blinked. Lin Yi didn't know whether to laugh or cry. Alright, it's rare for you to come back. I'll treat you to dinner. Chapter 34:18. She hadn't seen her sister for many years, and she didn't know how she was now. My sister just came back from abroad, so I'll take a break. Go. Tianlong nodded. You're the vice director now, so you can decide your vacation time. But if there's an urgent mission, you need to come back immediately. Don't worry, Director Feng. I know what's important. Ling Shan quickly nodded. Ling Shan happily prepared to go home, but she didn't know that a plot was already being prepared against House Song, overseas, the center. This was the headquarters of the Fire Wolves and Red Conches, located on a mysterious island. The person in charge of the center was Miss Lan, who was working with the Xianchen Elder. The current person in charge of the center was a person named Dr. Benjamin Tu. I heard that Song Lingrui went back to China. Benjamin Tu's voice was filled with hatred when he said this name. Yes, I heard that she has already left the mercenary organization and the Overseas Cultivators Association. Song Xianghua, the honorary first elder of the Overseas Cultivators Association, also went back with her. The person who spoke was Qiu Shanlong, the head soldier of the center. Back then, if it wasn't for her interference, our people would have gotten the inheritance of the ancient spirit beast, and my new gene modification would have been successful. Once it was successful, I would have become a powerful helper for Teacher Li and Mistress Lan. I have failed to live up to their trust. Dr. Benjamin Tu said hatefully. Song Lingrui had gotten the inheritance of the ancient spirit beast by accident, and it turned her into a sky-class late-phase peak perfect physical practitioner. This was a rare existence in the world of practitioners. If it was obtained by Dr. Benjamin Tu's people, then Dr. Benjamin Tu could start his research on genetic modification, create a similar biochemical agent, and inject it into the recipient. Then, countless masters could be produced in batches. This was much stronger than the current biohumans, because Song Lingrui was far superior to the biohumans in terms of strength, defense, and endurance. It could be said that Song Lingrui was the perfect master that had been modified. As long as he mastered this technique, Benjamin Tu's biopotions would improve by leaps and bounds. It's not your fault, Doctor. Man proposes, God disposes. Who knew that she just happened to replace him? Besides, If she hadn't been protected by the Overseas Cultivators Association and the mercenary organization, we would have killed her a long time ago. Now that she's back in China, do you think we should? Qiu Shanlong made a throat-slitting gesture. Yes, when the time comes, you must get me the corpse. I want to study her blood and genes. Dr. Benjamin too sneered and nodded. Go make the arrangements, but be careful. Those two are at the peak of the late phase of the heaven rank. They are top-notch experts. We have to get rid of them with absolute superiority. Send 4 experts. For peak late heaven rank? Qiu Shanlong pondered for a moment and said, we have to ask Miss Lan if we want to use so many experts. It wasn't easy for Instructor Li to nurture these people. We can't use them as we wish. Moreover, these people are part of our secret force. In the world of cultivation, no one else knows that our center has so many powerful cultivators. Okay, I'll talk to Miss Lan about this. Dr. Benjamin too nodded and agreed. In the past few days, Ancestor Xianxian was very upset. He and Kang Mingming got the second-grade medicinal cauldron and prepared to sell it to Lin Yi's company at a high price. However, they waited for a long time, but Lin Yi's people didn't come to discuss the purchase. It couldn't be helped. Ancestor Xianxian was anxious. He could only go to Miss Lan again to discuss cooperation and prepare to imitate the second-grade automatic medicinal cauldron. Fortunately, Dr. Benjamin too was also helpful. After a period of hard research, he finally imitated it. This was easier than cracking the first-grade automatic medicinal cauldron. After all, the first-grade automatic medicinal cauldron used other substitute materials. When researching and cracking it, it was necessary to change the parameters in some programs to adapt it to the real first-grade medicinal cauldron. There was a compatibility problem in the middle. However, the second-grade automatic medicinal cauldron didn't have this problem. It could be used directly after cracking it. Therefore, after cracking it successfully, it could be mass-produced and sold on the market. However, all of this was well prepared. On that day, the second-grade automatic medicinal cauldron was put on the market. When they were preparing to vigorously promote it and cooperate with the Cultivator Trading Association, the Cultivator Trading Association actually launched an integrated intelligent version of the first-grade second-grade automatic medicinal cauldron. Not only could it refine first-grade medicinal pills, but it could also refine second-grade medicinal pills. Of course, if Dr. Benjamin too wanted to imitate this function, he could imitate it without any technical difficulties. However, the main problem wasn't this, but this first-grade second-grade automatic medicinal cauldron. It was too magical. As long as the other party was a first-grade alchemist and could control the alchemy fire, they could use the alchemy fire in the first-grade second-grade automatic medicinal cauldron to complete the refining of second-grade medicinal pills. This was simply a godly tool for alchemy. Those first-grade alchemists dreamed of refining second-grade medicinal pills, but their own strength was not good enough, so they could only give up. But now, with the first-grade second-grade automatic medicinal cauldron, this godly tool for alchemy, why didn't they hurry to buy it back? The appearance of this godly tool for alchemy made the second-grade automatic medicinal cauldron imitation of the heavenly elixir sect directly go from being noticed by some people to being uninterested in it. This made Ancestor Xianxian almost vomit blood from depression. This was all money. So many second-grade medicinal cauldrons, plus the modification fees, were all wasted. Miss Lan, what should we do now? Ancestor Xianxian was so angry that his whole body was trembling. He could only pin his hopes on Miss Lan. The most urgent thing is to buy another set of their new first-grade second-grade automatic medicinal cauldrons to study. Miss Lan said faintly, in my opinion, it's nothing more than an upgrade in function and a replacement material for the second-grade medicinal cauldron. I believe we should be able to imitate it. That's good. Ancestor Xianxian breathed a sigh of relief. This was all the property of the Five Elements sect. Now, it was all bet on the medicinal cauldron. If it couldn't be sold, wouldn't they cry to death? You don't have to be too anxious. These things are like this. Technology is the hard truth. We have high technology. Are we afraid of them? Miss Lan said indifferently. Chapter 34:19. While they were talking, Miss Lan's phone rang. She picked it up and saw that it was her subordinate, Dr. Benjamin Tu's phone. She was also thinking of buying the first and second grade automatic medicine cauldrons and asking him to study them. Hello? Second, what's the matter? Miss Lan asked faintly. It's like this, Mistress Lan, that Song Lingrui has returned to China. I want Qiu Shanlong to send someone to kill her and bring her corpse back for research. Oh. Did she go back? Miss Lan pondered for a moment and said, okay, you can arrange it. However, a living body is more valuable. If possible, it's better to bring a living body back for research. If it's dead and the gene changes, it'll be difficult. In front of Ancestor Xianchen, she didn't want to say too much and expose the foundation and strength of the center, so she only said it vaguely. However, this also meant that she acquiesced to this matter. Madame Lan is really thoughtful. I got it, Dr. Benjamin Tu said. You let Qiu Shanlong arrange it. Your energy is still on research. In a few days, I will send someone to send the new first and second grade automatic medicine cauldrons over. You can imitate them as soon as possible. Miss Lan ordered. No problem, Mistress Lan, don't worry. Dr. Benjamin Tu agreed and hung up the phone. He told Qiu Shanlong the news and asked him to send someone to do this. In order to succeed, Qiu Shanlong was very cautious this time. He sent 4 experts, all of whom had the strength of the peak late stage of heaven stage. These 4 people had never appeared in the ancient times, and no one knew their identities. They were all the foundation of the center. Although the center was silent now, it actually had a lot of strength. If they wanted to kill Song Lingrui, then 3 great perfection experts should be enough. Even if there was Song Xianghua, a great perfection expert, 3 against 2 was more than enough. However, it would be a little difficult to capture Song Lingrui alive. 4 people went to intimidate. After all, Song Lingrui was a living person, and she was a great perfection expert of the peak late stage of heaven stage. It would be extremely difficult to bring such a person back by force. If something went wrong along the way and Song Lingrui ran away, they wouldn't be able to find her. Therefore, according to Qiu Shanlong's instructions, they were prepared to use Song Lingrui's family as a threat and then force Song Lingrui to go back with them. Since Song Lingrui had returned to the Song family, it meant that she had feelings for the Song family. In order to prevent the Song family from getting hurt, her only choice was to obediently give in. The 4 of them quietly came to China. Because they were all cultivators, they didn't rest and rushed to the Song family. Today, Ling Shan had returned to House Song, and the place was decorated with lanterns and streamers. Ling Shan and Ling Rui had a younger brother, but he was still in school and wasn't very strong. House Song was waiting for him to grow up so that he could take over. After all, both Ling Shan and Ling Rui were girls, and they would have to marry in the future. They wouldn't be part of House Song anymore. Ling Rui, you're back? Ling Shan said happily as soon as she got home to see her sister. Yes, I'm not the only one back. Second grandpa is back as well. Song Lingrui and Ling Shan gave each other a hug. The 2 sisters hadn't seen each other in a long time. The 2 had been close since they were young, and they were very excited to see each other again. Second grandpa? Ling Shan paused. What's second grandpa? Ah. Grandpa's brother. The one who left House Song before, Xianghua's second grandpa. Yes, that's him. Lingrui nodded with a smile. Second grandpa and grandpa are chatting inside. Us sisters should go have a little chat too. Did you bring brother-in-law back? Ling Shan was embarrassed. He's very busy. I didn't bring him back. Next time. That won't do. Didn't we agree? Brother-in-law has to get past me, or I won't recognize him as my brother-in-law. Ling Rui said. Sis, you didn't forget our agreement, did you? He's very strong. I'm afraid you're not his match. Ling Shan said. Me? Not his match? Ling Rui paused. She remembered that Ling Shan didn't know that she was a sky-class late-phase peak. She only told Ling Shan to bring brother-in-law back, but didn't say anything about her strength. Thus, she couldn't help but smile and didn't explain. She just lightly waved her fist and smashed it at a piece of rock in the courtyard. Immediately, a loud bang sounded and the rock was shattered into pieces. Her strength was also revealed. Peak late stage, heaven stage, peak external expert. Ling Shan couldn't believe her eyes. She stared at her sister in disbelief. An external expert at the peak of the late stage of heaven stage was extremely rare in the entire cultivation world. His own sister was actually one of them. These few years, Ling Shan hadn't seen her sister, but their phone calls were intermittent. Her sister was just a mercenary group member. How did she have such strength? This made Ling Shan a little embarrassed. Lin Yi was strong, but in front of her sister, a sky-class late-phase peak physical practitioner, there was no way he could surpass her. And she just said that her sister wasn't her match. That was embarrassing. You. Roy, what have you been through these years? How did you improve so fast? If Ling Shan didn't feel Ling Rui's strength, she wouldn't believe it. Even if Ling Rui called her and told her, she would think it was a joke. Hee, my brother-in-law is stronger than me? Then I'll have to see it. Ling Rui giggled. She didn't answer Ling Shan's question. She didn't want Ling Shan to change the topic. Roy, stop messing around. With your strength, isn't testing people like that just bullying them? Ling Shan frowned. But I can't be too weak, right? No, we agreed that I have to see brother-in-law. Ling Rui didn't let it go. Then there'll be a chance. Ling Shan said helplessly. Now can you tell me what you've been doing these years? Alright, then I'll let brother-in-law go for now. Ling Rui smiled and nodded. She started talking about her experiences these years. Now that they were back in House Song, there was no need to hide these things anymore. You're tuning into the Romantic Tales YouTube channel. Don't forget to subscribe and join us on this journey to catch the most captivating stories.